USA. Got some very fun plans for tonight. We're going to see if they work. Bro, I kind of feel bad for Canada. You got to respect the way Bosnia was just playing defense, dude. But, like, how did Canada not score that one goal? What was that? Like, Bosnia's defense was unbelievable, but how? Saw that coming. Look, no. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know. Also, hello. The United States plays a World Cup match in, I think, less than 4 hours now, which is absolutely sensational. Thank you for joining me for part of it. For this, we're going to go for about 3 hours. Then I'm going to wrap this, and then I'm going to, I have a scheduled Uber that's going to help take me to a watch party that I'm going to be attending. My goal is to stream from it. We're going to see how that goes. Now, I'm not in Inglewood, but I was just in Boca Raton a couple of hours ago. Yeah, 9 p.m. Zealand time is when the United States game happens. But what do you guys thought of the World Cup so far, dude? We're 3 matches in. We have 101 matches to go. We have 101 matches to go. I think it's been a lot of fun. I think all 3 games have been fun. I don't think we've had a stinker yet, dude. Definitely wild. I mean, the first match having like 3 red cards, the single worst performance by a competent team I've probably ever seen. So they've all sucked. Dude, if you think all 3 of the matches that have happened so far have sucked, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you're waiting for. The second half of Czechia, South Korea was awesome. It was awesome. There were disallowed goals, crazy moments, big saves. The first match would have been a stinker if it wasn't for the cards. The first match was, I think, the worst of the 3. Just in terms of, like, you know what I think is really fun, though? That the first 2 days we don't get, like, it's very non-European and non-South American centric. Have you noticed that? Like, the first 2 days of the World Cup are very Africa, Asia, CONCACAF. Like, very, obviously, because it's all 3 hosts, but, like, there's 2 European teams playing, and it's Czechia and Bosnia and Herzegovina. So it's, like, very rest of the world vibe, you know? Like, I'm enjoying that. I enjoy a Mexico, South Africa. I enjoy a Canada, Bosnia, Herzegovina, United States, Paraguay, right? Am I going to make a worst World Cup again? I'm still working on the 100 simulations, dude, because they dropped the rosters like 3 days ago. Yeah, there's no TTS on this scene. That is definitely a disappointment for some. I apologize. Uzani, thank you so much for being the first sub of the day. Thank you for the Prime. Barzo, thank you for the 38 months. Love you, Z. Much love, Barzo. Whirlwind, thank you for the 13 months. Ufka, congrats on the 500 bits, man. I'll read your message. I heard this is where we can get the Alexi Lawless cutting edge commentary while he's not on TV. Yeah, I wish I could offer that. I wish I could offer that devilish intellect on this channel. That would be great. Standard Rossoneri, thank you for the 30 months. Fishing, thank you for the 27 months. Brazil Morocco ends up being the first stinker. Dude, it totally could too. I could see that being a 0-0. Brazil obviously struggles to score as a national team, and Morocco, absolutely, they proved it at AFCON, they can haram the hell out of people. I think Brazil, I'm not saying it will be, but I don't think it's out of the question. Like, a stinker almost doesn't even have to do with the level of the teams in some ways. You know, it's not like Canada or Bosnia-Herzegovina are good teams, but there was good drama in that game, right? It was Bosnia and Herzegovina basically taking on a warrior mentality. Here's what I don't understand about that game, though. Here's what I don't understand about that game. Bosnia Herzegovina is better than that. Like, I think Canada's a pretty good team. I think I'm probably higher on Canada than most people, but like, I mean, Bosnia and Herzegovina, they have more quality than they showed in this game. They've got Bayraktar Revic. Where was Alabegovic, by the way? Did he even get on the field? I have no faith in Qatar, so Qatar. Yeah, it's true. Qatar, Switzerland's first game tomorrow. I don't. I think Switzerland's probably going to boss that like 3-4-0. Yeah, I just feel like Bosnia. It's hard to change your mindset, and Bosnia and Herzegovina is like stuck in between gears in their mindset of like, we're going to be warriors, we're going to defend, defense and set pieces, like block shots, compact shape. Where Canada's not in that mindset because they're playing worse teams. Begovic came in the 70th. Okay, I was recording when that substitution happened then. But I didn't notice him. I watched the last 15 minutes. I recorded from like 55 to 70. But I watched the last like 15 minutes. I didn't notice Begovic once. But like, Bosnia and Herzegovina, I think, is stuck in that mentality. I said it on Twitter, where like they're acting like they're playing Italy still. They're acting like they're playing a big European team. When you got to be able, when you show up at the World Cup, you got to be able to adapt to your opposition. I think Bosnia and Herzegovina can go player for player with Canada at most positions, if not all of them. Especially if Alphonso Davies and Moise Bombito aren't there. That's like two of Canada's best players. I would say two of Canada's 4 best players they did not play. They didn't play. Yeah, they just went full Balkan ball, and I'm like, I think they can do more than that. I think they could have been more on the front foot than they were, especially after they scored 1 goal. It was almost like scoring 1 goal hurt them. They weren't even like trying to get forward until obviously Canada was shell-shocked. They had that 1-1v1. But the striker that had the 1v1 was the like 6'6" guy, the 2-meter tall guy that scored the goal. It looked like he'd never had a ball at his feet before. He like tripped over the ball and the goalkeeper just came out and cleaned it away. But no, I mean, the only reason that chance happened is because Canada was shell-shocked that one shot didn't go in. That clearance by Zad Kolasinac defied physics, dude. That clearance by Kolasinac defied physics. Do you think Saudi Arabia will improve slowly with how many world-class declining world players are over there? Yeah, I think Saudi Arabia is getting better. I think they will get better. I think an issue for Saudi Arabia is that their players, because of the amount of money in their league, are stuck in their league. And so you don't have the opportunity for a 17-year-old Saudi kid like Pulisic did, for example, to go to a European academy because there's just really no financial reason for him to do so. The Saudi powers that be will just pay him an unbelievable amount of money to stay. I think that sets Saudi Arabia's team back a little bit. You see that a lot of times. But no, that clearance by Kolasinac was amazing. I mean, like people, it's unbelievable defending. He just throws his foot at it, man. I mean, it's unbelievable mentality and just like stick-to-itiveness and throwing yourself at it, but he just threw his foot at that and got lucky. Like that's just, if he tried to do that 100 more times, he would maybe be able to do that like once or twice more. Like that was so lucky for Bosnia that didn't go in. But that's what I mean. Like there are very few teams at this World Cup that I think you can pack it in and not give up anything. And they packed it in so hard and conceded. Yeah. As a Bosnian, it's a shame we dropped the lead, but if we win versus Qatar, it's basically guaranteed. It is guaranteed. Not mathematically, technically, but based off every simulation I've done, it's like fully guaranteed. You'll be fine. You do have to beat Qatar now, though. You do have to beat Qatar now. Like, no question. Because Switzerland is going to do what Bosnia did, but better. Switzerland is literally just going to do. Switzerland does what Bosnia does, just at a higher level. Canada, Bosnia, and Switzerland all make it out. Yeah, I mean, dude, I think Canada. I mean, Canada looked like a better team today. Canada absolutely looked like the better team today. Unfortunately, that's like the familiar story for Canada is like at the World Cup 4 years ago. I think they looked really good for the vast majority of like 2 of the 3 matches they played. I remember that first half against Belgium. They completely dominated Belgium, and then Belgium scored a goal, and you're just like, wow. You know, you're like rooting for a team to. Canada still never won a World Cup match. But they didn't look like a 0-point team in Qatar, but they got 0 points. They scored a couple goals, but what are my thoughts on the South Korea-Czechia game? Ugh. That's what the World Cup is all about. That's 2 teams that play so differently. That's 2 teams that play so differently. That's just what the World Cup's all about. I want to see those 2 teams that play so differently. I want to see that happen. Yo, DJ, thank you for the $5 donation. Hell yeah. Frogino, thank you for the $5. That bet on a 3-1 win for the U.S. If it doesn't happen, I'll move to work the Spaces stream permanently. I hope we don't even concede. 7-0 tonight. 7. I'm going to be conservative with my prediction and say 7-0 to the U.S. Fishing, thank you for the 27 months. Went to an upscale bar to watch South Africa, Mexico, and got a burrito and mimosas for $17.76 in honor of the World Cup. Nice. Ollie, thank you for the 68 months, dude. I'm in between the funny numbers. You are. I'm loving the chaos of the World Cup so far. 3 very different games with tons of fun. Every team feels like they only need one good result to get to the knockouts, so they're trying so hard to win. Agreed. Maxie, thank you for the 16 months. Appreciate the prime. Good luck to the U.S. today. Appreciate it, dude. Congrats on your 3rd stream child, East Coast Reese. Thank you for the 27 months. Hell yeah, brother. Go Elkins, thank you for the 3 months, dude. Donatello Duros, thank you so much for the 11 months. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. PTTLPPT. Thank you so much for the prime. Thank you for the 6 months. Hell yes. Ulven, thank you for the 3 months. Prime, thank you for the 13 months. And Elliot, thank you so much for the 52 months, guys. Thank you for supporting the stream. Sorry we couldn't stream on Wednesday also. I really did want to stream on Wednesday. I just had so many different things that I wanted to get done before we flew down. Oh, yeah, I went to Curacao training, dude. I went to Curacao training, and nobody's asked me about it. I'm sure you have. I just can't read fast enough. Canada will win the World Cup and shock the world. I'll tell you what. Canada's draw, like if you finish top 2 in that group, looks really good. Yeah, I went to Curacao training yesterday. Public Curacao training in Boca Raton, Florida. Flew back in today. Yeah. And it was really neat. There were like over 1,000 people there in Boca Raton, Florida. There were a solid number of Curaçaoan players there. Canada's getting grouped? No, they're not. They looked better than Bosnia and Herzegovina. Canada dropped 2 points today. That Bosnian defense was otherworldly. I went to USA training where they didn't have water, so we left early. Dude, what is with this World Cup, man? And you saw the stadium for the second game, right? The stadium for the second game. Like a ton of empty seats, and FIFA's like, dude, the stadium's full. I have no idea what... I have no idea. Why, how you saw... They must have all been on the concourse. Dead serious, that's what they said. Yeah, they were like, oh, the fans are on the concourse. That's why there's so many empty seats. All the tickets are sold. You know what? You want to know why they're saying all the tickets are sold? Because all of the tickets are popping up on secondary ticket markets, and FIFA, according to an investigation that's been launched in multiple cities in the United States, FIFA is dumping the tickets, the unsold tickets, instead of on their official platform, they're handing them to secondary ticket markets. Obviously, it hasn't been proven in court, but like that's what's being investigated right now. So if they hand it to secondary ticket markets, it looks like that ticket's already been sold, and they can sell it for cheaper than what the price is on the actual main website. Because if they lower the price on the main website, people are going to be really upset that they paid the higher price earlier. So they don't change the price on the main website. They feed the tickets to secondary ticket sellers. Then be like, oh, all the tickets were sold. Yeah. Can't believe a bunch of people didn't want to pay $600 to watch Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde play each other. It's unbelievable. I was looking at USA Australia tickets, and they're looking expensive on TickPick. I mean, yeah. That doesn't mean they're going to be cheap. It just is like a way that they're trying to move the tickets and get them in front of more people. Yeah. First ever point for Canada. If Bosnia has their top lineup, they win that. Who is Bosnia missing? I mean, Dzeko, but I feel like Dzeko not starting was a manager's decision. Hey, what's up, Dargoff? The Canada game today was 34 tickets away from a sellout, by the way. Yeah, I feel like FIFA views that as Dzeko's injured. Oh, that's sad. That's sad that he's hurt. I didn't know that he was hurt. I thought it was just a managerial decision. I mean, the guy that was playing for him scored the goal, so. Hasn't completed a single training session in weeks. I somehow missed that. Yeah, dude. I think FIFA looks at the fact that they were 34 tickets from a sellout at the Canada opener. That's a victory. That means that they set their price point at exactly the level they needed to set it at almost to get the maximum amount of money out of it. I think they're celebrating that one. I think they're going to say that was a dub for them. Now, the ticket stuff is so sad, man. I wish that there was a way for them to do it that wasn't so what it is. It's so sad that that's the way they're going to do it. No, it's just so... The word I was looking for is obvious. Like, you can see through it, but you can't do anything about it. It's just so obvious, you know. You can see right through it. The funny thing is they think you can't. They're like, huh. What do you mean? Even rich people in Brazil can't afford the tickets? Dude, nobody can. I don't know who. People that are buying these have a different perception of money than I do. Like, I'm going to get a couple of them, and I'm like, trying to fork over the dough for it eventually. But it's, the ticket prices are just ridiculous. And Gianni Infantino points at like the Knicks finals, and he goes, oh yeah, that's why. And it's like, New York's one of the richest cities in the world. Its team is potentially going to win a championship for the first time in 53 years, and the arena is less than half the size of one World Cup stadium. The difference between that and Uzbekistan versus DR Congo, like midday on a Wednesday, like for some reason to him, there's like no difference at all. He's like, dude, we're offering a bargain. You know what I mean? We're offering a bargain. Saw somebody on Facebook Marketplace asking for $150,000 for a box of Brazil. I mean, honestly, I expect boxes to be really expensive, to be honest. Don't worry about the prices, just chill. No, I think that you know what honestly angers me even more than the tickets, even though the ticket thing is going to become a mess because there's going to be a bunch of people that are like trawling for engagement that are going to be like, "Oh, I can't believe some of the seats are empty. Shouldn't have put the World Cup in a non-football country," as if the World Cup wasn't just in Qatar. But what bothers me the most, now having watched 3 matches of it, right? We're doing our little recap of the World Cup so far. Having watched 3 matches of it, the hydration breaks with the commercials. I mean, at this point, we just got to rebrand, bro. It's first quarter, second quarter, halftime, third quarter, fourth quarter. It's ridiculous. Yeah, they show commercials during it. FIFA's doing it because they're able to sell the media rights for more money. And the reason they're able to sell the media rights to more money is they're going to sell it to a company that is going to be able to play more ads during the course of the World Cup. Which means even if you're not getting ads now, right? Because here's how this works, by the way. FIFA owns the rights to the tournament. In each country, different companies bid for the right to broadcast the tournament. The bid can be larger from companies that are selling ads in the middle of the match. And so all of the companies that are going to put ads during those breaks, because they're going to make more money from them, are going to be able to bid more money, and slowly but surely every broadcast you watch is going to turn into corners, dude. It's going to turn into quarters. We missed in the United States in the first game. We came back from the ad break during the hydration break, and the ball was already in play. I was hot. The ball was already in play. We just came back and the game was happening. Dude. This is an America problem and it's also a FIFA problem, right? Because FIFA has made hydration breaks mandatory, even though it's like 70 degrees Fahrenheit. They've made hydration breaks mandatory because they want the advertisers to sell ads. Naturally, the U.S. is going to be the first through the door on that. But you are, I want to be very clear here, an idiot if you think this will not spread. If you think that won't spread, you are a fool. Because FIFA has put it in there specifically to attract broadcasters that are willing to sell those ad breaks so that FIFA can make more money from selling the rights to the tournament. That is exactly why it's there. So the thing I like the least, hold on, let me just throw a little Noah Khan in here. The thing I like the least from the World Cup so far is the ad breaks. That's the thing I like the least. The thing I've liked the most about the World Cup so far. Let me see if I can find it. I had a couple of fun things that I've saved that I've seen. The thing I like the most about the World Cup so far. I'm looking. Hold on. Is Algeria in Kansas? Have you guys been seeing this? So Algeria's training camp is in like the middle of nowhere in Kansas. And the town that they're in Kansas is called Lawrence. It's where the University of Kansas is, the Jayhawks. They're a very good like basketball school that's won a bunch of basketball championships. And they're so happy that Algeria chose to like hold their camp there that they've like fully embraced. I just want to show you this, like one of the most Midwestern dudes of all time. I love this, by the way. He's one of the most Midwestern dudes of all time. And this is just so funny if you know the context. And just listen to the Midwest accent on this too.
Good. Rock Chalk, Algeria.
Good. It's so awesome, dude. There's like an Algerian-Kansas alliance that's forming right now. For those who don't know, the reason I mentioned the Kansas basketball team is because their thing is Rock Chalk Jayhawk. That's what they say. I don't know why. But they're always like, Rock Chalk. It's a song. They sing it during their basketball games like Rock Chalk Jayhawk. I don't know. I've never been there. I've been to Kansas. I've never been to Lawrence. I don't know what's going on. But that's like a chant for their really famous basketball team that they have. And this dude just rocks up with
Rock Chalk, Algeria.
It's the most painfully American dude of all time. Just wearing an Algerian scarf and hitting the Rock Chalk, Algeria. Oh, man. Dude, I love it so much. I love it. But that's what the World Cup's about, I think. I think they should have put all of the teams, like Curacao and Boca Raton's awesome. I think they should have put all the teams in places like that. I'm going to see if I can find some more. I tweeted about it, and I think some people put some stuff underneath it. I'm going to see if I can find that now. Oh, yeah. Here's a bar in Lawrence, like, welcoming Algeria.
Team Algeria, welcome to Lawrence, Kansas.
فريق الجزائر مرحبا بكم في لورنس كانزاس.
On a hâte de vous accueillir ici à Lawrence, Kansas.
Speaking what I believe is Arabic, right? Like, that's so cool, dude. That's
We look forward to hosting you.
يسعدنا خدمتكم. نحن في
They're holding the Finnick fox. They're holding the little Finnick fox, man.
انتظاركم.
Soyez le bienvenu à Lawrence,
Sure, that is French.
Kansas.
She threw the fox at the camera. What the hell? Yeah, I mean, Lamine Yamal was in a Walmart. No, but the Kansas. So Kansas has a band. I'm going to see if I can find it. They learned the Algerian anthem and like went to Algeria's training and played their anthem for them. So like this is Algeria's training. And you know, like we have those marching bands and stuff. Well, they brought the marching band out to Algeria's training and just like played Algeria's anthem. Wholesome cringe. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what. Let me see if I can find other stuff. That's kind of, actually, I don't like searching Twitter when, like, you never quite know what's gonna pop up. Oh yeah, it was this guy. This was the guy that started it, dude. This was the guy that started it. Oh, you got to watch this guy.
Algeria. And what's the idea you have about Algeria?
So I want to say thank you to Team Algeria for choosing our hometown, Lawrence, Kansas, to come here. And so welcome. Welcome to United States. Welcome to Kansas.
Okay. What do you know about Algeria, and what's the thing make you to come to support Algeria?
So I came mainly because I was so happy that they chose our town for their base camp. And we just know Algeria is on the Mediterranean Sea, and then the south part is in the Sahara Desert. but and we know that you gained independence from France kind of around the time I was born. So we don't know too much, but we want to welcome you here.
That was very so genuine, dude.
What about you? What do you
Well,
want to say about Algeria and like what do you have about idea about Algeria?
well, yeah, the only idea I have is so far everybody here has been very friendly and very welcoming, and I'm really glad Algeria is going to be here. And 1, 2, 3, vive l'Algérie!
Nice, dude. I also it's so rare this day and age. I respect the hell out of somebody that goes, that's about all I know. Don't know too much. Happy they're here. Really proud they chose our town. Just hanging out with a bunch of our like partying Algerian fans, basically. Yeah, I love this low key and high key because America obviously gets a terrible rap, but like if you just put people from Algeria and people from Lawrence, Kansas together partying in a town square, they're gonna have a great time. And so it's just really nice to see the World Cup be able to, you know, like, in spite of itself, the World Cup is able to create these like super wholesome, nice moments. I want to see if I can find the kids because it wasn't just. Oh yeah, I'm scrolling on Twitter again. Oh, I found the kids. Okay, I found the kids. And then it's not just like wholesome old people either. Also, the accents are crazy.
Algeria.
I mean, obviously they got Mahrez, you know, used to play for City, class player. I mean, you know, I think they are Argentina in their group, so a tough group, but
Low-key, dude, I am so glad. This is totally unrelated to anything we're talking about. I'm so glad I grew up when I did. Because if I grew up in the era where you had to do your hair like this to be cool, I would have never survived. It never would have been able to get all the way over the forehead. I would have never. Like every era has its like the hair you need to have to be cool, and if I grew up in the era where this was the hair you need to be, you know, you need to have to be cool, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I just wouldn't have been able to do it. I'd still be working on it. Exactly. Yeah, I'd still be working on it. I'm not dumping on this kid. He's rocking it. Are you kidding me? Dude's hairline's at his eyebrows. Embrace it. Also, he said he used to be at City. This guy's got a little ball knowledge. We'll restart it.
How about Algeria?
I mean, obviously they got Mahrez, you know, used to play for City, class player. I mean, you know, I think they are Argentina in their group, so a tough group, but a good nation, you know, good team. I feel like they're good people, you know. So I love to support them, you know. Hopefully, especially since they're in Lawrence, you know, like I'll support them. Hopefully they can, you know, get out their group. Maybe win.
Dude, I just noticed this guy also totally, before coming out to this, which is an awesome move, by the way, went, I'm going to wear the one green shirt I have.
Win the group, you know, maybe. But yeah, I mean, I just love to support them because, you know, if they want to come to Lawrence, obviously we love them, we support them. You know, we want them to win and go far.
If you have a word to Mahrez, what you would say?
Man, I mean, what a player, phenomenal. I'd love to get his autograph or something. Obviously he's gonna tear it up this World Cup. I know he's been in Saudi for a bit now, but he could still be playing in, you know, a top 5 league. So, I mean, he's amazing, man. Love the guy, great player.
Dude's got the most Midwestern accent ever heard by real live human beings. The guy he knows a little ball. He knows a little ball. So my favorite part of the World Cup so far has been that Algeria and Lawrence, Kansas, two of the seemingly most incompatible places on the face of the earth, have become one. They've become one. Lamine Yamal in Walmart was funny. I'm gonna see if I can find some of that stuff. I really enjoyed that. Oh, they have a video load. All right, here's Lamine Yamal in Walmart. He's in the Fort Oglethorpe Walmart in Georgia. He looks so out of place. I've said, oh, I'm literally watching it from my tweet. Bro, why? I literally just searched it in the search bar and ended up watching it from. I could have just gone to my page. I didn't even realize that's what I was doing. I was just watching it from literally my tweet about it. I forgot that I tweeted that. Clicks and click, exactly. Dude, that's like a quarter cent from the world's first trillionaire, so I've never gotten a paycheck from Twitter over $11. Yeah. Darn. Yeah, I'm self-farming. If everybody here could just go watch this 35 times, that would be so nice. Oh, no. But yeah, I've always, like, Lionel Messi went shopping at Publix when he first got to the U.S., and he got to spend like half an hour in the store before people started to really recognize that he was there and like follow him around. But I for somebody like Lamine Yamal, it has to be so unbelievably refreshing to just be like buying potatoes and just have some, you know, high school kid from Georgia look up from the potatoes and be like, will that be all? Okay, your total is $4.73. And just walk out. It's got to be really refreshing. Because he hasn't been able to do that, obviously. A lot of these guys haven't been able to do that in a long time. Yeah, exactly. Do you have any food stamps today that you'd like to cash? Do you have any food stamps today? Yeah, exactly. Cash or credit. Are you paying with cash or credit today? Credit? All right. You here for the World Cup? Spain. All right. Big Spain fan. Do they play around here? All right. I'm reliving the conversation, right? That's what. Does Lamine Yamal speak English? I think he does. Not well, but I think he does a little bit. What was the Ryan moment? You ready to get rinsed, Zealand? Hell no, dude. You see the way we played against Senegal and Germany? We are ready. We are fit. We are locked in. I'm expecting the United States to come out and absolutely dominate. First minute to 90th minute. That's what I'm expecting. First minute to 90th minute, all day, domination. Is that actually what I'm expecting? No. I am, however, expecting us to win, which is dangerous. I'm expecting us to win. I think we should win. I respect Paraguay. I respect the level they play at, but I think we're better. I really do. I don't think that's like crazy. I think we should win. I don't think Enciso's playing, no. I just don't see a way that he's fit in time unless they're giving him like, you know, horse HGH or something. Don't be a James Corden. Well, I would hate to get insulted by Alexi Lalas on national TV. That would just be awkward. That would just be awkward. You are gay. Oh, I forgot the words. Guess I need to listen to it more. Listen to Olivia Dean, YouTube. Man I need. You know what man I need tonight? Christian Pulisic. Who's been your player of the tournament so far? Through 3 games, chat. Who's your player of the tournament? I don't know what my answer is to that. I'm asking you questions. I don't even know what my answer is to that. Sitole. No. What's Inbom's first name? Quinones is really good, but South Africa was so bad that I don't want to give it to him. South Africa was so bad that I don't want to give it to him. Kolasinac. He obviously made that one incredible clearance, and he had some other moments where he popped up, but I think a lot of the moments that might be attributed to Kolasinac in your mind, if you want to get credit to the Bosnian defense, were made by Katic and the other guys. What's Inbom's name? Huang Inbom? Inbom Huang? Inbom looked really good. I could see that. Kyle Laren. De'Aaron Fox. You know what's crazy? You know what's like really, really crazy tomorrow? Is I'm pretty sure the Knicks play. They do. They play tomorrow. At the same time as Morocco, Brazil in New York. The Knicks have a chance to win the championship. And let me tell you, there are a lot of Brazilians in New York. Knicks aren't in New York tomorrow. Dude, it does not matter. The streets will be unbelievable. The streets will be unreal. Honestly, when the Knicks aren't here, it makes it easier for the streets to clog up because they don't have to worry about security at Madison Square Garden. So everybody just stands in the streets around Madison Square Garden. Yeah, it's like, how do I tell you it really didn't matter where the game is? New York is going to be on fire. It's going to be on fire. Light poles will be greased. Brazil, dude, before I went down to Curacao, there are a lot of Moroccans here too. I know they were one of the countries that had like visa issues, which is so stupid and sucks, but there were a lot of like Moroccan jerseys walking around. I think we're going to get roving bands of Brazil and Morocco fans running into drunk Knicks fans. We are going to get some of the best sporting togetherness videos you've ever seen tomorrow. You're going to have roving bands of Brazilians, bands of Moroccan fans, all drunk with a just brick wall of Knicks fans. The party will be unstoppable, especially whoever wins Brazil-Morocco. They're then going to get swept up in the whole Knicks fever. I mean, even if the Knicks lose, it's going to be chaos because the Knicks game, when's it tip? Uh, 8:30. So the game will be going to like 11:15 maybe. I am going. Oh, yeah. I haven't really talked about my World Cup plans, have I? Would you like to know? Because I'm doing something tomorrow. Wouldn't you like to know? Not really. Okay. Thanks for being honest. I am going to a big Brazilian watch party in Times Square tomorrow. I've been invited. I've gotten permission to bring my camera. So we are going to make a YouTube video out of going, watching Brazil in New York, where there's a ton of Brazilian people. So it won't be an IRL stream. It'll be a video. We're going to make a video out of it. I'm supporting Morocco. That's fine. I got no beef with Morocco. I'm just going to a Brazilian watch party. I'll be rooting for Brazil while I'm there, obviously. Who asked? Technically me. Technically I asked. Yeah. Then I've got something fun planned. I'm going to France, Senegal, and I'm planning on filming a video, but I don't want to say what it is. But France, Senegal on the 16th, I am going. And then after that, my plan is to go out. Do you guys know B. Ford Lancer? Who's that? OG YouTuber, yeah. He is currently road tripping with his friend up the west coast of the United States to go to a bunch of World Cup matches. After the France-Senegal game, I'm going to zippity-doo-dah on over, join him for that. And there are 2 host nation games in 2 days. USA, first Canada against Qatar, I think. And then USA against Australia. One in Vancouver, one in Seattle. And so I am going to go over there and join him, assuming all goes well with our plans. Drive with him on the 17th. Attend both of those matches, and then come back. Might make a pit stop on the way back at another match. That plan is still up in the air. And then on the 22nd, I'll be teaming up with Norway fans because they play in New York and there's a lot of them here. I get to touch grass? Exactly. Big Norway match in the city. That Canada game pissed me off. You must be Canadian. No New Zealand match? So, funny story about something that's happened in the last 5 days. I am now followed by the New Zealand national team on Instagram. We've been DMing. Mainly just flirting with each other. But that's been a fun uncovering. You know, maybe we can go hang out with old Timothy Payne. No pain, no gain. The problem is New Zealand plays exclusively on the West Coast. It's like LA, Seattle, and Vancouver. They're very far away from me, typically, even though I am kind of jumping over there for a couple of days. First date soon, I'm hoping. You know, let me tell you, if New Zealand makes the knockouts, I would be surprised if I wasn't there. TTS for the subs is broken. No, it's not. It just doesn't work on this screen. It should pop up here, but it doesn't work with the noise. It's a big if. 8 of 12 third place teams. If New Zealand can get a win against Egypt or Iran, which I think if both of those are in the realm of possibility, then, you know, the knockouts are beckoning. For the mighty Kiwis, Jose Fraguinho, thank you for the $5 donation. Do you know you're on Transfermarkt as a player, official goalkeeper for the Marshall Islands? I do. I do know that. It's very neat. Very cool. Digital, thank you for the 5 months. Shazi, I mean, I am, you know, a national team goalkeeper. Why wouldn't I be on Transfermarkt? That would just be weird. Hope Morocco wins you back as a fan by the end of the World Cup, or at least not a hate watcher. Zazie, I'm going to be honest. I'm not a hate watcher. I'm not a Morocco hate watcher. I don't like bullies, you know, and I just feel like Morocco is very bullyish in AFCON. But if Morocco goes another deep run in this tournament, I'm going to be behind them 100%. I'll be really excited for Morocco. I've been on fire. Thank you for the 11 months. When will Indonesia make a World Cup? Probably sooner than you think. Durlogi, thank you for the 34 months. I appreciate you. Indonesia wasn't far off this World Cup this time. Hamza, thank you for the 2 gifted subs. Dave, thank you for the 75 months. That's a ridiculously long amount of time. Steldops, thank you for the 28 months. Saints, thank you so much for the 12 months. Wanger, thank you for the 69 months, everyone's favorite number. Static, thank you for the 22 months. Should link up with Adam Cleary. He used to work 442. Now he has his own channel. He's staying in New York and making podcasts during his stay. I don't know. I think I know what 442 is, but I can't say I know Adam. But I'm always down to hang out with cool dudes. Dudes specifically. Timon, thank you for 44 months. Triorganism, thank you for the 14 months. My blood is red. My skin is white. My veins are blue. USA misses the round of 32. Nah, man, we're locking in. Dead Claws, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. And Jose Fraguinho with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you for making 5 people's days, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the stream with kindness, giving 5 people a complete and utter lack of ads all month. 4-4-2, it's a football formation. I know that, but they're saying it like it was a company. Also, it's a 4-4-3, according to the, great American Todd Bowley. It's a 4-4-3. Very OG football content page. I haven't heard the name in years. Ooh. It's a magazine. Oh, okay. It's a magazine. Chad, I got a question for you because I realized that we were talking about the match. We didn't even go over it. Do you give Mexico a red card for that tackle? I'm not sharing my opinion at all. I want to see your honest reactions. I'll share it later. Do you give Mexico a red card for the foul that Cesar Montes got a red card for? I would. I think that people get a little weirded out with the denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity and that the ball has to be rolling straight towards the goal. If Cesar Montes does not do that, the attacking player is in on goal. That's got to be a red for me. I was surprised, and honestly, the chat was pretty split on this too. I was surprised there were so many people that didn't think it was a red. There were 2 covering defenders from Mexico coming. There weren't. Not that we're going to be able to get there. I'm going to see if I can find the play from another angle. Oh, man. I thought I was actually going to be able to see the play, but then I got hit with one of those, dude. Just like absolutely out of nowhere edits, man. Oh, well done. I was like, oh, thank goodness. I finally found the play, like with a good angle. God, the giveaways from South Africa were so bad. Can I find just like the norm? There we go. I think this is going to be it. Can I find the one thing I'm looking for one time? Does it always have to be Gabrielle? Every time? This is going to be Gabrielle. I'm telling you, this is going to be. Ugh. It's all the same video, dude. Can I just get the can they at least give me the next 2 seconds of the video?
Hey Zed, I tagged you on Twitter for some CR7 nonsense. Primed meme material, hee hee.
It's the same video. Oh. Hate this guy, by the way. If you want to know, if you ever see the name Neon, this dude just pays money for channels to clip him. In case you were wondering. A lot of people do that, but he's a terrible offender of that. In case you ever happen to be forced to watch something that guy does. Yeah, the dude looks like a ref at the World Cup. Oh, that's crazy, dude. The guy looks like a ref at the World Cup. You know where I should be going for this? I should be going to Reddit. I should be going to Reddit. They're gonna be able to give me something.
Love the Algeria-Kansas storyline. This is what the World Cup should be all about.
Absolutely 100% agree, Plotter. Thank you for the 22 months. Fraginho, thank you for tagging me. Trickster, thank you for the 46 months. Is this the line for the buffet? Nice. Maybe Montez? I literally just need a video of the original TV angle. Yeah, if I check the highlights on YouTube, I'm more likely to have the stream on YouTube get taken down. No, that's just, dude, I recently installed NordVPN on this computer, and so I watch highlights on this site all the time. But that's just NordVPN being all NordVPN-ish. This is a red. Dude, they have multiple defenders covering? Where? Are they about to pop out of the ground? Wait, the sponsor went away? Oh no. It's supposed to still be there. It is still there. That's a clear as day red card. People are like, oh, there's defenders there for cover. He's not in on goal. If Cesar Montes does not bring him down here, he's in on goal. That is a red. He's deviating from the direction of the goal. I must have missed the point where he turned around. He's deviating from the direct. It can be Dogzo if the ball doesn't naturally roll into the net after the foul. You know what I mean? I think he bodies his way into Montez. Fortunately, we can actually get that other angle. We already scrolled by it on here. Fortunately, we can actually get that other angle. Let's go get it now. That, I mean, to me, there is literally zero question about the contact here. I mean, Cesar Montes, like that's a, so that's the contact, right? And that's where it is. It's a red. Now, that brings me back to my point, chat. This brings me back to my point that this is the stupidest foul. It is the Why is he doing this? It is the stupidest foul I may have ever seen. Because Cesar Montes, if my ball knowledge is correct, will now miss a match because up 2 men, up 11 players to 9. You felt it was necessary to make this challenge. You just let him go.
Hey Zed, have you heard
Up
of
2
7-0?
goals, exactly.
Fun World Cup browser game.
Have I heard of 7AO? I have not, Igor. Thank you for the year. Dude, there's so many games flying around, and 90% of them I don't even know what they are. Like, you know, all these different games that all these people seem to be playing. Yeah, Cesar Montes is the best center back Mexico has. Cesar Montes is the best center back Mexico has. He is now going to miss the next match because up 2 players, he decided to do this. It's just, I don't get it. I don't understand what was going through his mind. I respect the ref calling it. The ref could have easily given a yellow. With the amount of like pressure from, you know, and also I think you see a lot of people sometimes like, oh, the game is already over, which it was. Like, this was the first decent chance South Africa created the entire game. It was them down to 9 players at this point. Like, you know, sometimes when the game's already over, a ref will just give a yellow card. I appreciate the fact that the ref was like, that's a red. Like, that is a red card. Bring back Rafa Marquez. Bring back Rafa Marquez. That just makes it stupid from the defender, not something to use to pressure the ref. I mean, it is. It's just stupid from the defender. I'm just saying some refs wouldn't give it. I'm saying some refs wouldn't give it because the game is over. I respect him for giving it. Most surprise result so far for me, though, is South Korea. We talked a little bit about this match already, but it wasn't even just the fact that they won. It was the way they played. South Korea is like not the best team from Asia. They never are. And yet, they looked really, really, really good in this game. You know what I wanted? I want to watch a South Korean rondo. As a Dane, I'm very happy to see South Korea beat the terrorists. This should have been you. Should have been Denmark right here. Now, we were talking about best performance earlier. A lot of people were giving it to Hwang In-beom. Czechia looked awful. I think it's kind of a reckoning for Europeans in some ways. I think it's kind of a reckoning for Europeans that in the first 2 matches for European nations, granted it's probably the 2 worst European nations that are at the tournament in Czechia and Bosnia, right? But the fact that they showed up and played Canada and South Korea and just looked worse than the teams they were playing against. How are the vibes in the U.S.? So I've been in, ever since the World Cup started, I've been in Boca Raton because I went down to watch Curaçao training yesterday, which was like between the 2 World Cup matches, which was super, super great. They just sent too many teams. No, I mean, I think 16 to Europe is fair. They're like 33% of the tournament. I just think that, dude, I have a lot of conversations, obviously, with Europeans about ball, and the vast majority are totally fine. But you sometimes run into this like very Eurocentric thought process where people just assume that if you put a team like the Czech Republic in Asia, that they'd like win the Asian Cup every time. And I think that the way South Korea played in this game, South Korea hasn't won an Asian Cup since 1960, by the way. right? Helps dispel that a little bit. The way Canada played against Bosnia and Herzegovina helps to dispel the idea that these nations that are in one of the continents that hasn't won a World Cup title are also pretty good. No, it's the idea that, like, if you put these, like, average European nations that struggle to make the World Cup, I think Czechia would be a very apt team to point at. They haven't been to the World Cup in 20 years. And you put them in any other continent, I think, like, if you put Czechia in Africa, they would struggle to qualify and not qualify much more frequently, if more frequently at all, than they do out of Europe. I think out of Asia, they would still probably qualify basically every time. But they wouldn't be, like, threatening for Asian Cups. You know, look, you run into these people. I'm just saying, it feels nice to be from somewhere that's, like, considered a footballing backwater in some ways, to watch other teams from lesser continents win. It feels nice. I was surprised teams like Nigeria and Cameroon missed out. Yeah, dude. There's, like, African qualifying is brutal. Africa gets no credit for this, but African qualifying is savage. It's savage. DR Congo played, like... DR Congo knocked both of those teams out, by the way, because they had their playoff matches against Cameroon and Nigeria. Even Ghana barely made it. Okay, we need to talk about something. We need to talk about something. But first, do you guys mind if we do a little... I'm going to put a bookmark in that. We're going to come back to it. You guys mind if we do a little ad read real quick? Because these sponsors are how we're able to pay for all the stuff that we are able to do during this World Cup. All right. Cool. Ugh. Because you guys might have noticed, right on this stream, you guys might have noticed, you said, tell me about Forza. I got you. You guys might have noticed that this little US pregame show is sponsored by Forza. This is Forza 6, right? And Forza 6 has got a whole bunch of cool stuff going on, okay? Have you guys, wait, first of all, have you guys played Forza 6 yet? Because it's already out. Have you played Forza 6? It's sick? Yeah. So it's open world, right? It's got an open world thing going on, but it's not, as cringe as some other open worlds have been that have been introduced, right? It's set in Japan also, and it tries to mimic Japanese car culture. And there's a lot of different cool elements in the game around Japanese car culture and how you're able to kind of acquire cars and everything. I played a ton of Forza when I was growing up. And when Forza was describing the new game as, like, part of the sponsorship to me, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to get back into it. I was like, I'm going to have to get back into it. It's an ad I will support. Dude, I don't do ads for things I don't like. You should know me by now. I don't do ads for things I don't like. Forza Horizon 6, baller game. If you didn't know that, don't take my word for it. Right? This is a sponsorship. Take the people in the chat's word for it. That it's a good game. That it's a lot of fun. Here, let me make sure. There's a couple other things to know about Forza Horizon 6 that are important, right? And I'm not somebody that's super up to date with the car culture, so I want to make sure I get this right. There are cars randomly around this open world that are aftermarket cars. So these are cars that, like, you don't buy from the official retailers in the game, right? Just like you might find IRL in Japan, these give you rare and unique models to test drive and add to your garage. So in this open world, when you're kind of going around, you're going to be able to find different cars and stuff. And I can't read. What? Exactly. Exactly. You want to relive your Tokyo Drift your dreams? You absolutely can do that. You also have the ability to explore the, like, wonders of Japan. The breathtaking landscapes, different biomes. It is, they're telling me here, and I'm trusting them because they made a really good game, that this is the biggest Forza Horizon map by far that they've ever made. Please don't play on keyboard. I won't. I learned that lesson. I tried to drive on keyboard on Euro Truck Simulator 2, bro. I learned from that. Awesome. Best ad ever? Yes. Best ad ever. Thank you. W-ad. It is, actually. Because what powers our World Cup coverage, chat? Like, if we're gonna be able to go out to the West Coast and do all those fun things with B Ford and be able to, you know, afford all the fun things that we're gonna do in and around New York and all the different videos that we're gonna be trying to get to you guys, it's in part thanks to sponsors like Forza Horizon 6. So if you want to absolutely just rip super cool cars around Japan and embrace probably the coolest driving game I've ever seen, check out Forza Horizon 6. You sound experienced in Tokyo. I've actually never been to Japan, so maybe Forza Horizon 6 is my only opportunity. Maybe I should look at that. I've never been to Japan. I've been to... I don't know. I don't know how many countries I've been to. I don't know. Why haven't you? I don't know. I've been to China. I actually have I have no idea how many countries I've been to. Do I ski? Yes, I do. A lot of my family's from Colorado. So when I visit my family, they're always like, "Oh, let's shred some fresh pow," and I'm like, "Dude, cool." A white guy that hasn't been to Japan? Impossible. Did I go to Palm Beach to meet the Portuguese national team? I did not. No, I was in Boca. And then I left Boca, obviously, this morning because I am in New York currently. So, no. Need to catch some J-League games. Pretty good atmosphere. I would figure. I'm Macwell. Macwell's a good friend of mine. He's gone over for the J-League games. He's gone over for the J-League games. Yeah, I think he's worked with the J League on a couple of occasions, I believe. All right. How many countries have I been to? I'm going to do it. This is not necessarily something that has like a ton of relevance to us previewing the US game. When do the lineups come out? But I really just wanted to catch up on the World Cup too. The lineups aren't already out, right? Predicted. You're right. 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 I can't read. All right, let's do this. USA. Okay. I actually don't know the number. So let's see if we can figure out how many countries I've been to. I don't really know. Canada, Mexico. Where do we start? Where do we start? I feel like the only reason I feel like I should know this, dude. I feel like I should know this. Like, obviously we travel so much for like the videos and stuff that we do. Where should we start? The Caribbean. Okay. Are we going to count like fully independent nations or just like play chronological? No shot. There's no shot I'm going to be able to get it right. I've never been to the Marshall Islands. As a Marshallese national, I've never been to the Marshall Islands. Break it down by federation. All right, CONCACAF. Never been anywhere else in Central America. Just Mexico. So let's take it to Dominican Republic. All right, we'll take it over to the Dominican Republic. All right. And then We've got the British Virgin Islands. Let's just do places that have national teams, all right? U.S. Virgin Islands. 7. Turks and Caicos. 8. Cayman Islands. 9. Anguilla. 10. Curacao. 11. Aruba. 12. Bonaire. Not technically different countries. Mombot has receipts. Mombot already found the command. Yeah, but there's more on. We haven't updated that in a while, have we? We haven't updated that in a while. See, the list doesn't have Turks and Caicos on it. And Bonaire, technically, I mean, they do have their own national team-ish. I have not been to Haiti. We spent all of our time in the Dominican Republic over the border from Haiti. We did not go. So it needs updating. We're doing that now then. We're doing our updating now. 13. Saint Martin. Then there's the other half of the island, which is the French half. Do we count that too, or do we not? See, the Caribbean's like the hardest area because it's like technically Curacao, Aruba, and Bonaire are all different nations in the Kingdom of the Netherlands. No, I've not been to St. Kitts. I've been to both sides of the St. Martin's one island, but it's like divided in half. They have 2 different national teams. St. Martin's a different country in FM. Well, then I guess we're going to do it. St. Martin and Saint Martin. All right. That, I think, is it for the Caribbean. I haven't been to Jamaica. I haven't been to Cuba. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's got a separate national team. I've been to Puerto Rico. I've been to the Bahamas. They got a separate national team. That's 16 right there. I haven't been to Barbados. I've not been to Trinidad and Tobago. I've been to Puerto Rico. I've not been to Grenada. No, I think this is it. I think this is it. I went to the Bahamas for work. I have not been to Haiti. I was advised by literally everyone not to go. We spent all of our time with the Haitian club over the border in the Dominican Republic. I want to go to Haiti. Yeah, this was not even for like YouTube or anything. I announced a basketball tournament in the Bahamas. Yeah, I announced a basketball tournament in the Bahamas. Can you do a simulation in an FC 26? I mean, you can, but I don't think FC 26 is very conducive to simulations. Football Manager's way better for that. All right. Yeah, somebody said I got to start in CONCACAF. Okay, I have never been to South America. I don't know how that is continued to be the case. I've never been to South America, so we could skip that. Africa. I have been to 1 country in Africa. I wish it was more. I've been to Morocco. All right. I've been to Morocco. That's weird. I know. I feel like South America is way more accessible. Yeah. I figured you'd at least been to Brazil. No, I haven't. I have not. I've been to Morocco. Yeah, been to Morocco. Oceania, we can go ahead and knock out Australia and New Zealand. I've been there. No, dude, I took a boat from Spain to Morocco. That was it. The one African country club. Yeah, Oceania, I've got these 2. I've not been anywhere else out in the Pacific Ocean. I've been to Hawaii, but that obviously doesn't count. I've been to Alaska. Okay, Australia, New Zealand, China, and Hong Kong. I have been to China and Hong Kong. I think I'm tapped there, too. Yeah, I've been to China and Hong Kong. What do you think of China? I liked it. It's so different. It's so different. I went to Beijing, Xi'an, and Shenzhen, and then went in Hong Kong was like the last place we went. Yeah. You're beating Paraguay 100%? Bro, I freaking hope. We better. So that's 21 before Europe. Europe is where I clean up in Europe. Europe is where I clean up. So that's it for Asia. I've been to China and Hong Kong. That's literally it. I got to travel more everywhere that's not Asia, is what I'm getting from this. All right, UK. Actually, no, that doesn't count. England. We're doing like FIFA recognized, or we're doing national teams recognized by at least a local confederation, which is why we have Saint Martin, or Saint Martin and Saint Martin. All right. No, because Catalonia doesn't play in UEFA, but the St. Martins and Bonaire play in CONCACAF. I've not been to Andorra, no. So England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, Ireland. Let's stay off the mainland for a second. Iceland, Faroe Islands. Okay, let's hit everything floating northwest so far, because that's a solid number of places. All right, and then we've got Norway. I might have been to basically every country in Europe. Finland, Denmark, multiple times. Sweden, multiple times. Right, we can knock out your mainland, like really easy ones. France. I've been to France like 5 or 6 times, all, various like work or study abroad stuff. Spain. Germany. 36. Can I type? Nope. Netherlands. I've not been to Greenland. I wish. I have not been to Greenland. I've been to France, Spain, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium. I think I've been to Luxembourg. Not for long. Like, we drove through it and stopped for lunch type thing. I've been to Portugal, yeah. I've been to Portugal and Gibraltar. I've been to Portugal multiple times. Gibraltar multiple times. Obviously, we went there for the video. I've been to Monaco, yeah. I've been to Monaco. Check. I think I've been to Luxembourg. I've been to Liechtenstein. If we're just going to clean up on the micronations, I have been to Liechtenstein. And I've been to Switzerland and Austria. Obviously, Austria. With the Dorfers. Spent time in both those places. Spent time puttering around the Alps. Obviously, Italy as well. I've not been to San Marino. That is an override. I've been to Sicily. Cool part of Italy, obviously. No, I think I've been to Luxembourg. I would have to ask, who's I with? My dad? I've been to the Vatican. Yeah. That's UN recognized, even though they're like don't have a team. So I have been to the Vatican. Yeah, I went to St. Peter's. My mom almost crashed out because they wanted her to like wear, it was like really hot and they wanted her to wear long sleeves or something and she was losing it. Really funny family story. I've not been to Russia. No. I wish. My dad studied Russian history, sleeper agent. So I wish I'd gone with him. No, I'm still working on Luxembourg. I'm just knocking out the obvious ones. There are other ones that I've been to. I'm just trying to get Luxembourg. 2-1's the score prediction tonight? I hope. I already have Liechtenstein on there. I'm gonna put it. I've been, haven't I? To Luxembourg. We were driving through. Score prediction? I think it's US 1-0, dude. I think it's US 1-0. I think we get a goal and then it's just like survive. I'm not going to count it because I can't remember. Let's hit the other ones I know. I've been to Hungary. I've been to Czechia. Right. I've been to Greece. That might be it. Slovakia. Oh, yeah. Nope. Slovakia. You're right. I spent a day in Bratislava. Slovakia. Slovakia is a yes. Czechia is already on there. I went to Slovakia. I've not been to Croatia. I've not done Slovenia. Somebody else said Romania. I've not done Romania. I have Monaco on here somewhere. I've not gone to Cyprus. I have not gone to Bulgaria. It might be it. I might be hard stuck on 49. Canada's on here. Estonia, Latvia? No, I've not gotten up into the Baltic area. I've not no Poland, no. Australia, yes. It's already on here somewhere. There. Gibraltar's on here. No, I haven't done any other crazy area in Oceania outside of Australia and New Zealand. That was it. You haven't been to Uzbekistan? I know. And I have not been to the Marshall Islands. I have never been to the land that I represented as part of a national team. So, you know, I wish I had. I might be at 49, dude. Well, that kind of bothers me, dude. I want it to be 50. I got what? Come on. There's one more. Cornwall. There's one more somewhere. There's one more somewhere. I've been to the Canary Islands don't count. I've been to the Canary Islands, but it doesn't count. I already have the US on here. No, I've not been to the Middle East. I would love to go if it wasn't like an immediate risk to my health, you know. I have Morocco. I've been to one African country. I've never been to sub-Saharan Africa. I've never been to Central or South America. I've been to Mexico. That's it. Texas. Got it. I've been to Texas. Yeah, Mexico. We did CONCACAF first. Maybe I'm missing one in CONCACAF. In the old North Central America and the Caribbean section. Maybe that's where I'm coming up empty. St. Pierre and Miquelon. Oh. What other islands have I gone to? British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, but we didn't go to Haiti. Cayman Islands. Been there multiple times. That one's so easy. Both St. Martin's. Anguilla I already have, right? I have Switzerland. I haven't been to St. Kitts or Guadeloupe. Look at a map. Dude, true. It always starts on like this one restaurant. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know when I tagged that on my like Google account, but now my Google account already starts zoomed in on this restaurant that I tagged like on my freaking Google Maps. That's my house? Yes. The Kalari Taverna is where I live in the back. I have Turks. I have Turks and Caicos. Have I been to Antigua and Barbuda? So Bahamas, like right next to Florida. Turks, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and then you just knock this out. BVI, USVI, Anguilla, St. Martin is right here. I've been there. I've been
I don't
here,
want to be a
Curacao,
legend.
Aruba,
I want
Bonaire.
to be an arms tart.
I've not been over here. So all of these, like I've not been to those. But I've been down here. Cayman Islands. Dude, all I needed to go was, I just needed to go on like a boys trip to Jamaica or something. And Mexico. A lightning storm? Holy, do you see that flash? That's the worst lightning I've ever seen in New York. I'm supposed to be at an outdoor watch party in 2 hours, bro. How long is it supposed to be going? That's gonna complicate some things. Wow, that's interesting. Cloudy conditions expected around 9. So at the start of the game, okay, at the start of the game, that's supposed to be done. Well, we'll see how much I believe that. Oh, actually, I see the vision. Okay. It looks like by 7:30 almost, it's already going to be gone. Like by 8, it'll be gone. Okay. Okay. I put Curacao and Aruba on the list. Yeah. I think I've been to 49 nations. I think I've been to 49 nations, chat. I'm short one nation. I put Ireland, right? Yeah. Damn. I already added the U.S. I've never been to Qatar. I didn't go to the World Cup there. 50 if I count Luxembourg. Dude, I can't. I don't think that we did. I think we might have, just to say that we did. You know, one of those like you're driving near it and you're like, well, might as well go through. But we were driving from like here, because it was after TwitchCon, to just down. And we drove to It is a nasty storm outside. Like if you're seeing more flashes, like I can hear the lightning. You guys might be able to hear it too, to be honest. No, I haven't been to Luxembourg. I haven't. I'm at 49. We drove to Aachen for the history. I have not. I haven't been. I don't think so. We went to like some battlefields, I think, but yeah, I went to the Aachen church. It was so cool. It was so cool. Yeah, of course I've been to Mexico. It's hard to grow up in the U.S. and not go to Mexico or Canada at some point. I've been to both.
How many domestic league players have been called up? Hopefully we'll open people's eyes to the fact there are ballers all over the world and not just in 5 Euro leagues and 2 South American leagues.
Yeah, dude, I was hoping that South Africa would prove that, but then they did whatever the hell South Africa did. Whatever the hell that was. All right, so I'm glad we've got an actual list now. I don't know if I'd ever actually made an actual written list before. Probably something that I should keep track of. But it's 49. Been to 49 countries. Well, I got a lot left, dude. If only some of them didn't want to, you know. I don't think a few of them might not let me in right now. But how many states? Oh, I think all of them. I think I've been to all of them. How many states have I been to? Well, I grew up in Florida, right over here in Tampa. Obviously, just driving, like, you can knock all these out. I have some family in Texas, so Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. I still order. There's this place called The Shack somewhere down here on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. That was another huge lightning strike. I still order barbecue sauce from there because it's just the best barbecue sauce. I literally order it in boxes. Yeah, I literally order that sauce in boxes. This is good before the U.S. match. Got to become familiar with all the states, right? I order my barbecue sauce from Mississippi. Texas, Louisiana. I just put it on chicken. I eat it like 3 nights a week. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. I went to school in Virginia. That knocks off West Virginia. That knocks off Tennessee, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, obviously, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont. I don't know if I've been to Maine. I'm sure I've been to Maine, he says with no confidence whatsoever. I had no idea that's where St. Pierre and Miquelon was. Okay. Maine. Unsure about Maine. Holy. It's raining sideways outside right now. Sideways. It's raining like it's a thunderstorm in Florida, which I don't know if I've ever really seen in New York before. I don't know what the hell this is. It's only supposed to last an hour. Can you show? No. I don't really want to point my camera out my window because then there's going to be that one guy that's going to be like, I can find that building. I might be in the apocalypse. We already know it's the restaurant. So true. Do you ever get the chance? Oh, apparently I flagged. Right when I moved to New York like 5 years ago, I was trying to start like a map. And it must have been on this account. And I've just flagged like a couple of places that I went right after I moved here. We love Rainbolt. Exactly. Have I been to Kentucky? I've been to Kentucky. I know I've been to Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota. I've been to Arkansas. Don't know. I don't know. There's Colorado, yes. New Mexico, yes. Arizona, yes. Utah, Nevada. California, yes. Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, all yes. South Dakota, yes. I'm not sure on Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma City, and Kentucky and Maine. I don't know if I've been to North Dakota. Is Montana real? It's so pretty, dude. You got like the slight come to New York, I'll buy you a beer. I live in New York. I'm sitting in New York right now, Ernesto. Montana is incredibly underrated. The downside is it takes forever to get anywhere and you're on an active supervolcano. But the upside is it is unbelievably beautiful. Yes, Kentucky. Yes, Maine. Okay, so I have been to Kentucky. This, I guess, when I was younger. And yes to Maine. I must have been really young when I went to Maine. So I've been to Kentucky and Maine. So my question mark is Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, and Iowa. I actually don't have any memory of me going through Iowa. I once drove from Charlottesville, which is about right here, to Minneapolis. That took 17 hours. Did that in one day. Did that in one day right there. All right. I have been to Alaska. I've been all up in here. Where do we go? Juneau, Alaska. And then I've also been to Anchorage, which is the big city right there. And I've been down, I went up to Talkeetna, and that's where you can see Denali. Like unbelievable mountain range. The Alaskan range is just like you go up to Talkeetna. I'm gonna see if they have pictures of the mountain range. It's just ridiculous. Talkeetna is a cool town, but they gotta have pictures. Like when you're in Talkeetna, you can just look at that, bro. Look at that. It doesn't even look real. And you'll just be walking through town, and you're like, this is just. You just like look up from town, and it's just the Alaska range. It's one of the most, obviously I've been fortunate enough to go to a lot of places. The Alaska range is one of the most striking visuals I've ever had. And then we went down to Seward. So we like went up to Talkeetna and then we went down to Seward, which is this beautiful bay over here. I think there is a World War II observation post somewhere over here. I think it's right up here. We hiked up to that. That was so sick. And we went to Bear Island, which is the Katmai National Park, which is one of the coolest things I've ever done. So yeah, I've been to Alaska. I've been to Hawaii. Kind of wanted to just leave Hawaii alone, honestly. It's fairly similar, very culturally different, obviously. The color of the beach and the mountains is different than Florida, but like I think what you go to Hawaii to experience in a lot of ways is fairly similar to Florida. It's just really far away, obviously. So, yeah, Fat Bear Week. I saw some of the fat bears, George. I saw some of the fat bears. I have been to Ohio, yes. What's up, Squid Flipper? I have been to Ohio. That's my credentials to be rooting for the U.S., who are playing here tonight in Los Angeles is where they're playing. Where's the stadium? Been to more countries than states, bro. Oh, you're right. I've been to more countries than states. Fake American. It's in Inglewood. All right, next question. Where's Inglewood in this massive behemoth known as Los Angeles? I'm not gonna lie, LA scares me, dude. As a New York resident, LA scares me. Near LAX. Okay, Inglewood's near LAX. It should be huge, right? It should be super huge and obvious. This stadium is a monster. That's LAX. That's a scary airport as well. Very scary airport. Search it. I kind of just wanted to find it. I figured it would be obvious. It's near LAX. Right by the Huada. Come to San Diego. It is obvious. Oh, no. There's nothing to do and say. I have to go for TwitchCon every year. I like it. Turn on satellite. Not gonna lie, I don't know how to do that. Dude said just west of LAX. That's the water. Oh! Look, it wasn't that obvious. Right in the middle of the screen. I was looking for SoFi Stadium because that's like the actual name of the stadium, but I guess they oh, this is like Street View. It's a really pretty stadium. It's one of those like ultra modern, super cool dude stadium. Can we walk? This is where the US is playing tonight. I don't know why they're playing in LA. I think it's just LA being like, you know, one of the biggest cities in the world, I guess. You want to I don't know. The problem is I feel like all the best soccer cities aren't necessarily like New York and oh, this is the back of it. Can I go up this street? No, I can just gonna go back and forth. Oh, that's super sick. I would love to do that. Paraguay's Spanish speaking. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted the good thing about us playing Paraguay, like if we were playing Colombia, there would probably be like a lot of Colombians there. But Paraguay doesn't have as many people. And they don't have nearly as much of like a US diaspora as a lot of those other countries do. Look at that though, dude. It's a pretty stadium. It's where the Los Angeles Rams play. It's where the LA Rams play. Paraguay speaks Guarani. Yes. I've learned that. I literally learned that from Football Manager. Somebody said go into satellite mode. I actually want to learn how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Bottom left. Layers. Yep. Nice. Yeah, look at that. Look at that absolute behemoth. Most importantly, chat, look at those parking lots. Look at those parking lots. Those are some of the best parking lots I've ever seen. Screw the stadium. Look at those parking lots. Only place that somebody's not living anywhere near here. This is all of LA, by the way. LA's just that, except everywhere, all the time, and forever. I think the US home opener is not even sold out. It's so much easier to find in satellite mode. Just look at Los Angeles and be like, I wonder why. Dude, the prices on the like opening US game are still just ridiculous. The prices on the US game are just absurd. I don't want to hear anything from anybody. LA just sprawls. Yeah, I mean, dude, to get from here to like here, like over. So you ever heard of like Valley Girls or whatever? Like, oh, she's from the valley or they're from the valley or this is the valley. Through these mountains over here. That's where they come from. It's where that accent comes from. Over here. Does America have any curved roads? So, I mean, that road's curved. Vista Del Mar in Los Angeles, only curved road in the entire country. Now, I actually, one of my best friends lives in LA. That's really the only time I ever end up out there. And it really is just like, it's just people. House and house and house and house and house and house and house. And then all those people get on these highways and then you all just sit there together and hold hands. It's really fun. Really fun. U.S. cities have to... Oh, there's Los Alamitos. The funny thing is, how many people didn't realize that... where's the beach? Is it Santa Monica? The actual beach from Grand Theft Auto. The first time I went to it, I was like, wait a second. That stupid winding walkway? I was like, hold on. Yeah, I think there was a better picture of it earlier. But it really is just that winding walkway through the beach that I was like, oh my. That. But yeah, they copied GTA, dude. They copied GTA. That's what they did. Yeah, but that's where the U.S. is playing today. Second U.S. game's in Seattle. Where's the third U.S. game? This is Seattle. Seattle's a very interesting city. Like, structurally. As I'm sure you can see. It's a bizarre city. It's like an ocean city that's not on the ocean. San Fran. Dude, it's all west. Oh, it's SoFi again? Oh, they really just go LA to... Well, maybe they didn't want the time change. Maybe they didn't want the time change. Eugene, Oregon. Portland, Oregon. Seattle. Vancouver's on the same freaking... Whatever. Am I going to any game? This is the game I'm planning on going to. This is the game I'm going to. I'm going to go to the game in Seattle. If everything goes according to plan, I'll be there with B. Ford Lancer on his road trip to a bunch of different World Cup matches. My plan's to go to a game in Vancouver, which is going to be Canada and Qatar. And then we're going to drive down to Seattle from Vancouver and go to the U.S. game the next day, which is USA Australia in Seattle. That stadium is so sick, too. Where the hell is that stadium? Seattle Stadium is awesome. It's where the Seahawks play, if we got any NFL heads around here. I have actually watched a game in this stadium before, Lumen Field, I think. Where is it? Oh, and you can take I took a ferry one time in Seattle. We took a ferry to Victoria, Canada. Very cool. Zoom in. Yeah, we should be able to. Oh, there you go. Seattle Stadium. It's a very unique, like, look at that. Very unique and cool shaped stadium. You got like these big ridges on the side, and then there's like this kind of just thing in the middle. It's where the Sounders play. Seattle Sounders play here. Seattle Seahawks play here. And the U.S. national team will be playing Australia here. It's also a very, very loud stadium. Like the way it's designed, it's just incredibly loud. I think it's this overhang that just like blasts the noise back to the field. It's a very, very loud stadium. So hopefully the crowd for this game, when I'm able to go, is just going to be absolutely sick. Yeah, it's a good like aerial overview. It kind of fills out on the other side. It snows in Seattle. Belgium, Egypt is going to be played there on Monday. Nice. Have fun, Belgians and Egyptians. How have I never done I've played GeoGuessr on stream a couple of times, actually. I have. Guys, I got good news, though. They were right. The storm is gone. I don't know how, but the storm is gone. The meteorologist kind of cooked. Like some of the worst thunder and lightning you've ever seen, and it's gone 45 minutes later. Like a Tampa afternoon storm. That's pretty crazy. All right, but then the World Cup final stadium. You guys have seen that, right? You guys have seen the mess that is the World Cup final stadium, right? I ain't gonna lie, I have no idea where it is. It's somewhere over here. The glorious MetLife Stadium. No, that's where the Red Bulls play. That's where New York Red Bulls plays. It's a solid stadium. On the water. In Harrison, New Jersey. It's farther north, isn't it? It's like up here. All right, little New York education, by the way. A little New York education. Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island. For some reason, this is not part of New Jersey. They've just decided it's part of New York. I have no idea why. And then this, with this dotted line right here, is New Jersey. That's where the World Cup final's being played. It's where the New York Giants and the New York Jets play because they can't fit, or they just have no place to put. There you go. New York, New Jersey Stadium. World Cup final. It's known as like a rickety old stadium and like for the US. But it's a stadium. Oh, the Taylor Swift concert. Rock on, dudes. Yeah, I mean,
thoughts on Spurs apparently selling our best defensive prospect to Brighton for basically nothing.
Sounds like exactly what Brighton would do, and sounds like exactly what Spurs would do, to be honest with you. Show us the parking lot? Oh, you've never seen parking lots like this, dude. You've never seen parking lots like this. Ever. Look at the size of those parking lots. This is one of the largest malls in America. Look at the size of this parking lot relative to this mall. Look at the size of those lots. Let's see if I get like, no, there's no pictures of the freaking parking lot, dude. Hell yeah, just a couple of bros. I mean, here you go. We can probably back this up, right? We can go, look at the size of these parking lots, man. Now, there's a good thing and a bad thing about the United States. The good thing is we have a lot of space, and the bad thing is that we use all of it instead of condensing the space. Yeah, these are 2 of the, what was it, like 8 parking lots they got? There's a couple more over here. They got one out here. This is the Giants, like, training facility. I don't know what to tell you. Now, what is cool about the World Cup Finals Stadium? Yo, John, thank you so much for the $10 in the super chat. How are you, buddy? Long time no talk. Hope you're keeping well. Looking forward to some more of your coverage of the World Cup. I got you, man. Said, loving the content. Hope we can catch up soon. Love, brother. Oh, it's Rev Boy, by the way, from HITC many moons ago. That is a name that has been lost to time to me, John, but I'm very happy to see you. I appreciate the kind words, man. Who did Spurs sell? Who is Spurs sell? Do Europeans tailgate? I hope so. Except I'm pretty sure FIFA's turning all of these parking lots into like a FIFA fest zone, and then they're making everybody pay $100 to take the train in. Vuskovic? Okay, 30 million pounds isn't basically nothing. But Vuskovic was like young player of the year in the Bundesliga while on loan to the Bundesliga from Tottenham this past year. So the problem is Brighton's in Europe, are they not? And Tottenham is, of course, not in Europe. So if Vuskovic wants to go play European football, he actually has to go to Brighton in order to play it. Yeah, no, Vuskovic, he's going to start. I think this is a really smart move from Brighton because Vuskovic is about to play a bunch of matches for Croatia, and his value is not going to go down. His value is not going to go down. Yeah, selling Vuskovic, look, this isn't nothing. Selling Vuskovic for 30 million pounds would be a mistake. The kid's 19 years old and was just one of the best center backs in the Bundesliga this past year. They absolutely should keep him. If Spurs want to go anywhere, Vuskovic has to be like the core of what they're doing. This is nothing. There's nothing in this. I don't know. The Athletic are just reporting that Brighton have made the bid. Tottenham signed Vuskovic from Hajduk Split in 2023 for 12 million pounds. Yeah, why would they sell him for 30? I didn't know that they actually forked over a decent chunk of change for him to get him from Hajduk Split. There's no way they take that. No way. They won't take that. All right. United States, Paraguay. I'm going to get a snack and then we're going to jump into this. A little Scooby snack for the boys, real quick. United States, Paraguay, your official score predictions. We are less than 2 hours out from the match right now. Your official score predictions, chap.
Would love him as a Brighton fan. Maybe Van Hecker will be involved.
I like the guy that said 76-0. It is America's 250th anniversary this year. Do we have any updates on Enciso? Do we have any updates on Enciso? The match is 2 a.m. here. I'm going to sleep. Oh, you're going to miss out on a World Cup host opener? No, I think I'm hoping that home boost turns this into a fairly comfortable game for us. He could be ready for their second match, according to this guy, Rodri Vasquez. According to that guy. If Enciso's not playing, I think I feel terrible for Enciso that he picked up that injury, but it's obviously good news for the U.S. Is the view from Zealandism's domicile a great view of New York? Oh, you'd have to ask him. But I'm pretty sure that sort of stuff's really expensive in New York, so likely not. Richards should be back. I'm hoping that when the starting lineup drops in 33 minutes or whatever, that he's absolutely. I'll be really surprised and sad if he's not. He didn't get to play in any of the friendlies, though. 9 hours ago from Heavy.com, 10 hours ago from Reed Crystal Palace. He's ready for the opener. There's ESPN 2 days ago, yeah. I mean, he's our best center back, so we definitely need the Birmingham, Alabama native Chris Richards to be there. He said, I'm ready. I mean, it's a World Cup, so I'm going to make myself ready regardless. I'm feeling good, maybe a little swollen, but nothing tape can't help. So rehab is rehab. It's never really fun. It's been long days of trying to get my ankle right, swelling, whatever the case, trying to get everything right. But it took about as long as I expected. I think the initial diagnosis was day to day, but I think for me it was maybe more at the 2 to 3 weeks. He feared missing his second consecutive World Cup due to injury. When I first came out with the injury, I was pretty devastated and I was fearing the worst. But I kind of forced myself back on the pitch to prove to myself that it was doable. For me, once I finally got the diagnosis, it was how do I get ready for Paraguay? That's what I've been doing 24 hours, been doing recovery, been doing whatever it takes to be available. I wouldn't put myself in a position if I didn't think I could do everything 100%. I mean, I think part of playing the sport is you're going to have some pain at some point. I'm okay with that as long as functionally I'm good. Every time they've asked me, I told them I'm good. Even when I first got to camp, I'm good. I think they've seen the progression over the last couple of weeks. Me personally, I think I look good on the pitch now. I think hopefully it's been a good time for them. And again, every time I tell them I'm ready. We need him too. Because I think the thinnest area on our team is midfield, just because we only brought 4 midfielders and one of them is Christian Roldan. But center back is by far the next thinnest. Attacking areas, fullbacks, we're good. We got multiple guys that can play those positions that I don't hate. But that's what hurt the hell out of us in the last World Cup too. It was supposed to be Richards and Miles Robinson, and they both got hurt before the last World Cup. Now Miles Robinson's kind of fallen off a little bit. Chris Richards has become a sensational center back, and we really, really need him to be out there. Yeah, the other weird thing about this U.S. national team, of course, is that we don't have a star goalkeeper. We have Harvard-educated Matt Freese back there. The projected starting lineup. Would I be happy with this projected starting lineup? I probably would be, yeah. I probably would be. Poch loves this back five. That's why he's brought Ream, because I think Ream can hide a little better if there's 2 other center backs out there, and Reed's obviously very good with the ball. The Iceman, Matty Freeze, is going to keep us safe. Hey, he didn't clean sheet anybody in the friendlies. I don't know what I'm hyping up. Why don't you like it? No, I don't think a back five utilizes our talent pool as well as it should be utilized. I think a 4-2-3-1 does a better job. But the United States has such good aggressive fullbacks with Dest and Robinson. I think it's kind of hilarious. Like, there are 3 players that have never lived in the U.S. for a significant amount of time on this team. 2 of them are the wingbacks. Anthony Robinson and Serginho Dest. I actually don't know if Robinson's lived in the U.S. for part of his life. I don't know. But Robinson and Dest are both American diaspora players, and they're like these very aggressive wingbacks. Where are they from? Dest has an American dad. He was born in the Netherlands. I actually have no idea how Anthony Robinson's able to play for the U.S. I'm assuming it's a parent, but he's like English when you hear him talk. He was born in he was born in Milton Keynes. Almost said MK Dons. His father Marlon had immigrated from the United States, or had immigrated to the United States. He actually to White Plains, New York, and naturalized as a U.S. citizen. Oh. So his dad was like an immigrant to the U.S., lived in the U.S. long enough to get citizenship, and then had Anthony Robinson back in Liverpool. Yeah, we set it up. We knew. We were like, dude, he's going to have a Premier League kid. We set it up. He knew. Genius. Yeah, and then Dest is, his dad's like American Surinamese or something. I love how I knew that. Surinamese American father and Dutch mother. He was born in Suriname and immigrated to the U.S. when he was young, settling in Brooklyn. Oh, this is his dad. He was born in Suriname and moved to the U.S. when he was young, lived in Brooklyn, and fought in the Vietnam War. Oh, dude. Serginho Dest's dad fought in the Vietnam War? Brother, you don't get any more American than that. Hell yeah. This dude fought in the war that Fortunate Son was written about. No, yeah, Dest was born in Almere in the Netherlands. I don't think Dest has ever lived in the U.S. for any extended period of time. His dad, however, fought in the Vietnam War, which there's nothing more fatalistically beautiful in terms of becoming an American than that. So, is his dad like 90? I mean, I don't know. His dad's definitely older, though. Somebody say the lineups are out. And CISO, dude, and CISO is starting. How is he back? We're not gonna show a search on Twitter. Oh, they got some video from the lines trying to get in for USA Paraguay. Nice. Where are the lineups? On FIFA? Is everybody trying to get in for the game? Everybody here having paid like a couple $1,000 to go to this game. All right, let's go to FIFA's website. Nope. Can I that? Okay. Lineup. Dest, Richards. Yes. Ream. Yes! Oh, they're doing exactly what I wanted them to do. They're playing Alex Freeman as part of a back three. Oh my, yes. It's exactly what I want them to do. Oh, this is exactly the lineup I would have picked. This is dead on exactly the starting lineup that I would have picked. They're playing Alex Freeman. I love Alex Freeman. They're playing him as part of a back three. They're going to put Richards in the middle, Freeman on the right, and Ream on the left. And if we have a lot of sustained possession, Freeman's a right back and right center back type of guy, so he'll just bomb forward, and it'll be Richards and Ream. I think Alex Freeman's going to have a huge breakout World Cup. He is a stud. His dad played in the NFL. He's like the embodiment of, what if our NFL players played soccer? His dad played in the NFL, and he's just a stud, man. He's a stud. Yeah, and Destin Robinson, obviously, Matt Freese, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, and Malik Tillman. And then Pulisic and Balogun. Yeah, they're starting in CISO and Sanabria. They've got Omar Alderete, the axe murderer himself, Diego Gomez, Miguel Almiron, whose career in large part was built playing in the U.S., so an interesting game for him, obviously. But they're going to start in CISO. I guess I think he's okay. Now, against Germany, I thought it was Miles Robinson, Hobbs, but I wasn't paying too close attention. What injury was it? Dude, Julio and Ciso came off in their last, like, warm-up friendly in tears. People thought he'd, like, torn his knee up. But somehow he's just there. I wouldn't be surprised if Enciso's risking worth... No, and you know, you want me to be perfectly honest? Like, I've had this conversation with a friend before. Like, what would you give up to play in a World Cup game? Exactly, where it's like, oh, he might be risking further injury. I'm like, dude, you could take at least 4 fingers. You could take 5 years off my life. You know what I mean? Like, what would you give up to be able to represent your country in a World Cup game? If they were like, you will be able to play in this, but it's going to cost you blank. Nearly anything. Exactly. That's why I'm like, when these guys have injuries and they don't play in World Cup games, I'm like, you know, the only time you really shouldn't is if the injury is going to affect your ability to play. And that's it. In like a serious way. Yeah, the U.S. man, yeah, Pochettino is going to be hitting the get stuck in on Julio and Ciso. Now, I mean, look, Paraguay's a good team. Our group is really interesting that it's like 4 solid teams. And I think, you know, I would consider both Australia and Turkey solid because Turkey usually underperforms its talent. Australia overperforms it. Paraguay, obviously a really solid team, but lacks kind of that top end quality. And then the U.S. is just always a really interesting team, but I think has a lot of, you know, real talent in this team. I think this is the best U.S. lineup. I agree, 100%. I think if I was Pochettino, I would pick the exact same team. So, Samuel Umtiti sacrificed a knee and a career for a World Cup. Exactly, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's worth it. I think the greatest athletic endeavor that you can participate in as a human being is playing in a World Cup. I don't think there's any greater athletic endeavor that you can partake in. No, I know. Look, I'm saying South America's a tough place to qualify from. Paraguay's a good team. Well, that's why I think our group is really interesting. Because I think very similar to Group A, I was like, there's no match where it's a huge surprise if anybody wins. I love groups like that. Right? It's not like a mind-blowing surprise if we beat Paraguay or they beat us, or if we beat Australia or they beat, like, not even the Olympics. No, I think the World Cup, the thing about the Olympics is it's more saturated. So, like, you go to the Olympics, but the vast majority of the people that go to the Olympics aren't Michael Phelps, right? They're not Usain Bolt. They're Becky from Wisconsin, who is, like, part of the tag team's, you know, shotgun preliminary side, like the USB team. Now, that being said, Becky from Wisconsin is a badass and has gone to the Olympics and is an Olympian, and that's a huge achievement. But I'm just talking about, like, one, more people watch the World Cup than the Olympics. Not that eyes determine everything, but I think the World Cup is so concentrated and it's so directly national because there's like one team. You know, it's not just the US and China and Russia having like a pissing contest basically to see who wins the most golds, you know? Like the World Cup is the biggest athletic stage you can be on the planet. And even the best footballers of all time play less than 30 World Cup games in their life. Are they the records what? Messi at 26 World Cup games? Do you think your media is delusional? I mean, no. I think our media is American. I think our media around soccer is generally pretty bad because, you know, the media, particularly like legacy media, you know, just like TV shows and stuff, usually run by older people. And the older you get in the United States, it is direct correlation to like you become less interested in soccer. But the United States also, we don't have a small mentality about anything. If we're competing in something, you either win or you suck. It's Ricky Bobby. You're first or you're last. This is why more people watched the Women's World Cup final than the men's. Because the United States was in it and they were winning. You know what I mean? It's like the most watched match, I think, was U.S. women beating Japan in the World Cup final. Like, the United States doesn't expect anything else than winning. You have to win. If you don't win, nobody cares. Like, if you don't win, nobody cares. Would there be a public outcry if the U.S. gets grouped? Okay. If the U.S. gets grouped, I can tell you exactly how it's going to go. All of the people that are kind of interested in soccer will disavow it again until the next World Cup. They'll just be like, I knew I shouldn't have gotten into this. We suck. And all of the people that are into soccer will have a meltdown and be really upset. They'll fire everybody. All of the old players that consistently make the knockouts at all of the old tournaments, like Donovan and Dempsey, are going to be shitting all over this generation. Pardon me. The dumping all over this generation. But that's what would happen. It wouldn't be like the sort of massive public outcry you get in Brazil. It would be a very... I'm sorry, I forgot that button was way too loud. I forgot that button was way too loud. I haven't taken the time to figure out how to turn that down with the new setup stuff. You pressed it again. I didn't hear it. I forgot that it's really loud. I forgot that it's really loud. No, I mean, but Americans don't go into, like, my friends don't ask me, like, how good is the U.S. team? They go, can we win? And the message behind that question is, should I care? Because if we can't win, I'm not going to care. I'm not going to put my support behind a team that doesn't have a chance to win. That's like a window into kind of the American approach to competing with the rest of the world and things. Like, if you're competing with the rest of the world in something, you have to win. You have to win. And if you don't win, I mean, it's the same in leagues. It's the same in all of our professional leagues. If you don't win, you are a joke. It's not, it's... It's not really glory hunting. It's just like, you don't want to devote your time to losers, basically.
Best of luck with the opening game.
Was I supporting Canada? Today, yes. I will be very upset if Canada makes it farther than us. And if we play Canada, I hate them. But I think it's pretty similar to like the South Americans, where it's like the South Americans hate each other when they play each other. And they want to get farther, you know, if Brazil or Argentina get farther, then they're, you know, Brazil's really upset that Argentina got farther or whatever. Like, I don't necessarily want to see Canada succeed, but I want to see them show well. You know what I mean? Will you ever be able to win the World Cup with that mindset? I mean,
Yes.
America's pretty similar to the Roman Empire. Can I use my history degree for a second? America is a land where ambition runs rampant and nobody has any time for losers and winners get everything. At least that's like the perception, right? A lot of historians look at the Roman Empire as an ambition experiment, right? It was a society where, like, a lot of people pretend to know a lot of stuff about the Roman Empire, but I'm going to give you some deep cuts, all right? I'm going to give you some deep cuts. In Roman Empire, like in Roman families, not even just in the Empire, but in the Republic as well, there was like a hall of faces. So, like, let's say you were born into the Julius family. You were born into the Scipii family. When you were growing up, there would be a hall of death masks made of faces of people in your family that lived way before you were born, 100, 200 years ago, that were Scipii or whatever. And there would be a wall of them in your house of the mask they made when they died. They would take a face mask right after they died, basically. And you would learn the stories of all of them. And this guy sucked, and this guy was great. And the whole point was it instilled this kind of... You can imagine what that does to somebody who's 8 years old. You're like, oh, when my face goes up on that wall, I've got to be great. Because if I don't, then my family's going to be making fun of me forever. Right? And the other idea was also like, what you're doing for the family, the glory of the family, right? You got to elevate what we've got to see here. You know, when your face goes up, you're going to have done something. Like, that's why when Brutus killed Caesar, it was the pressure of he was from one of the oldest families in Rome. Are you really going to let this guy become a king or an emperor? And so that was like a big cited motivation for why he did what he did. TLDR, this is the TLDR. And the way that Roman society was set up is it rewarded ambition. It rewarded success. It was a meritocracy in a world where meritocracy really wasn't a thing. And the United States approaches, it's not the Roman Empire in many ways, right? The United States approaches success and like the vision of success in a very similar way. The only measuring stick in like American culture of, you know, success in any direction is like that actual measurable, like, did you win? And a lot of people point to the Roman Empire and say that that is actually what ended up contributing to the end of the Roman Empire, because you had so many people that were not necessarily looking out for the good of the state, but were looking out for what was best for themselves. And it was impossible for the state to kind of hold itself together while that was happening. Yeah. A lot of empty seats still? Dude, there's more than an hour before the match starts. So, I mean, a great example is, I don't know how many of you guys knew this, but a lot of you guys seem to enjoy, because history, in my opinion, is by far the coolest subject. And if you didn't enjoy it, it's just because you had a teacher that made you memorize a bunch of dates. And dates suck. How many of you guys knew that when Julius Caesar went to war with the Gauls, he did so without the permission of the Roman Republic? When he went to war in France and like fought the battles that made him Julius Caesar, he did so without the permission of the Roman Republic. They were like, don't do that. He was just the governor up there, and he was like, I'm going to do this because if I do this, I'm going to become really famous and like bring a bunch of honor to my house if I can pull this off. And so he did it. And then after he did it, they actually issued a warrant for his arrest. And he said, clearly the state isn't interested in the expansion of, and glory of the state, so we need to overthrow the state. And then he marched down. This is a lot of spark notes here. He marched down and crossed a small stream called the Rubicon, and that's where the phrase crossing the Rubicon comes from. Because once you crossed the Rubicon with an army, legally you were invading Rome. You weren't allowed to stay at the head of your army once you crossed that stream. And so he led after they issued a warrant for his arrest, he basically had a decision to submit and kind of go down and go away quietly, or obviously, because you still know who Julius Caesar is, he didn't do that. He took his army, his battle-hardened army, from smacking 100,000 Gauls up and down, and marched down and fought. We didn't actually fight there. The Senate evacuated, and then they fought in Greece. He fought a guy named Pompey, and he beat him, even though he had less men than Pompey did. And then Pompey ran away to Egypt after he got defeated. Pompey, before Julius Caesar, was like one of the most famous generals that ever lived, so that was a little embarrassing for Pompey that he got absolutely blasted. He then ran away to Egypt because he conquered a lot of the east for Rome, like the Levant and that stuff. So he went over there to try and raise another army, and when he showed up in Egypt, the pharaoh, who was like 12 or maybe 13, beheaded him and then served Julius Caesar Pompey's head on a platter, which Caesar was then horrified by because Pompey was Julius Caesar's son-in-law. So even though they were fighting a war against each other, he didn't necessarily want him to die, particularly like that. And, it offends Roman pride to have a great general be beheaded by a 12-year-old. So then Caesar kind of wanted to leave. The pharaoh kept Caesar prisoner for a while, and that's when Cleopatra broke into Julius Caesar's room and somehow convinced him to support her in a civil war against the pharaoh. So then Julius Caesar supported Cleopatra in a civil war against the pharaoh because Cleopatra was the pharaoh's sister and wife. Lovely group of people. And then they overthrew the pharaoh together. The pharaoh was trying to run away and drowned in the river or something. Who knows what happened there. And then Caesar went back to Rome finally. And then this is something that a ton of people don't know. Cleopatra showed up in Rome with Julius Caesar's kid. So she showed up in Rome. This caused a problem for Julius Caesar because the Romans were very superior, and it was a little weird for them. It was starting to feel a little royal family-ish that the de facto emperor that was kind of ruling the republic had a kid with the leader of Egypt. It felt a little weird to them. They didn't really like it that much. Yeah. The kid was named Caesarion. He died young because obviously Julius Caesar died not long after that. Cleopatra then got caught up in the civil wars after that, sided with the wrong side and took poison and died. Caesarion then became the ruler of Egypt, but because his bloodline is the purplest of all time, I mean, the kid of Cleopatra and Caesar, he was a threat to basically everybody, and he also drowned in a river. So, no spoilers? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why we ended up with that full story, but now you know it. Now you can tell your friends. That's the story. I always wondered, Caesarion, in theory, should have ruled the world, but poor kid ended up in everybody's crosshairs instead. Cleopatra is a descendant of... Yeah, so they were the Ptolemaic dynasty.
People truly do not understand American mindsets and the uphill battle this sport has to fight here. People over the age of 50 hate that you like soccer because it's un-American. People under 50 that don't like soccer will belittle you for liking soccer or that we can't be the best. It is the worst in rural America. We reactively sabotage soccer growing in a lot of rural areas until 5 to 10 years ago. Also have a history degree and a background in journalism. I'm loving this.
Nice, dude. Nice. Love that. I appreciate the 1,000 bits, my boy Blue, and you're absolutely right on a lot of that stuff. Bro's whispering in my ear. That was loud enough, right? I'm assuming it was. Will Caesarian be fit for the Belgium game? No. If Julius Caesar had kids, yeah, Julius Caesar had 2 kids, and they both died pretty quick. So Julius Caesar had 1 daughter with his wife, and his daughter married Pompey, but she died in childbirth. And then he had Caesarion with Cleopatra, and Caesarion died right after Julius Caesar died, or pretty soon after. I think it was within a couple of years. So there is no direct descendant of Julius Caesar alive today. That is not a thing. Yeah. As an outsider, I hope you guys will be more like Canada. I mean, we are way more like Canada than Mexico. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the problem with Julius Caesar is that a lot of people alive really didn't like him. Everybody looked back later and was like, oh, he's a complicated guy. Did I miss Forza? No, you did not. You did not miss Forza, chat. Because this pregame U.S. World Cup stream is brought to you by Forza. Forza Horizon 6, to be more specific. If you did not know, chat, Forza Horizon 6, a sensational new game that's come out, is set in Japan. I know a lot of you guys have already played it. We talked about this last time. I know a lot of you guys have already played it. Yes, we're hitting a quick ad read. We're hitting a quick ad read on behalf of Forza Horizon 6. It is the largest map that they've ever had in the game. It's very open world. And you don't even get cars in Forza Horizon 6 from official sellers. Trying to match up with the Japanese car culture, you get they have a specific word here that I want to make sure I use. Aftermarket cars. You're just cruising around the map, checking out the different geography, the biomes, the beauty of Japan in your super sick car. And then you can pick up a couple of different cars on your way around. Exactly like Soap McLavish is doing in the chat right now. I mean, it's a sensational game. Not only is it a sensational game, it is a beautiful game. You can cruise around. Maybe you can put the U.S. winning the World Cup on the radio after it happens. But yeah, it's the largest map they've ever done. It is a massive map. And you have the opportunity to explore basically all of Japan and pick up all these cool cars. And you can interact with other people in the open world. There's these bunch of different tracks. Bass Arena. Yes, car meets. That's what I was looking for. You can do car meetups in the open world with other people to show off the sick wheels that you've got. You drive multiple cars simultaneously if you have multiple versions of the game. When's the Forza gameplay starting? Dude, hopefully soon. Obviously, we've got the U.S. World Cup game coming up today. We appreciate Forza Horizon 6 for sponsoring the U.S. World Cup watch-along pregame show that we've got going on right now. But yes, Forza's a sensational game. We thank them for sponsoring the stream, and you guys should absolutely check it out. If you're into cars at all, or just beautiful Japanese scenery, it is just about the best driving game you're ever going to be able to get your hands on. Are there parking lots? Oh, no, in alignment with the U.S. World Cup, there will be parking lots. Yeah. But you're right. The U.S. lineup is out. We're talking about this beautiful team right here. We're talking about this absolutely gorgeous team right here. Can I say something? Show us a clip of the game. Dude, have you not seen the game? The game is gorgeous.
Second World Cup with Z-Man.
It is gorgeous. These are like game shots, dude. Look at that. How ridiculous is that? That's the car I would want, though. It's a super sick game. Is Maroon 5 playing the halftime show? It's Nickelback. Nickelback's playing. Now, I'm sorry. I was about to say something. I distracted myself. When's the last time you've driven? This morning. I was in Boca Raton. We had a rented car to be able to get to Curacao training. But I don't have a car. I don't have a car in New York. No, okay. You ready? You ready? This is the best U.S. national team lineup ever. I think this is the best like U.S. national team lineup we've ever had. Stop the cap? I don't think that's cap. What lineup is better that we've had? I'm not talking about the most talent at every position. I'm talking about like if you put this lineup next to every other U.S. national team lineup I've ever seen, I'm taking this lineup. (7-1) Paraguay. Nah, I think we are the better team, player for player, than Paraguay is. But I think Paraguay is a good team. I think we're better. I think Paraguay is a good team. Paraguay is not close to like. I mean, I don't know if you ranked. I don't know where you would put Paraguay in like World Cup power rankings. You got like I don't know if I want to go Fox Sports, maybe like Bleacher Report World Cup power rankings. Like where would Paraguay come in? They put Haiti at 48. They put Curacao at 46. Yeah, okay. They put Paraguay in like middle third, back into the middle third. They put them at 31st. They put the United States at. Oops. 24. So they agree with me. Like, we're the better team, but I don't think Paraguay is a bad team. Haiti at 40. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Haiti at 48 is cap. Look, I just went to Curaçao's training. I met the players. Those are some awesome dudes. Just based off my assessment of the tournament coming in, I think Curaçao is the worst team, at least on the power rankings. I think Curaçao is the worst team. I also think Iraq is better than Qatar. We'll get to that. I think Iraq is better than Qatar. But it's part of a video. I'm not just making a video of like, I went to Curaçao's training for a day. But we're going to involve that in another video that we're working on. What would USA versus Paraguay be in European teams? I'm an ignorant. Oh, dude, who's a European comp for the US? Poland? No, we're better than Czechia. Turkey's pretty close. Turkey's not bad, honestly. But Turkey's a different type of team. And they have better players than we do. Not Netherlands. No, Netherlands is too good. Netherlands beats us up, and so does Belgium. Switzerland. I like Switzerland. We're Switzerland, and Paraguay is like Bulgaria. Paraguay is like Bulgaria. Ugh. I'm not going to say the U.S. is better than the Swiss, but the Swiss and the U.S. are both very good at making the round of 16 and losing, which is why the comp felt accurate. We're also both nations that don't have like a bona fide superstar world-class player. We just have like good players that play in good European leagues. Curaçao's the Netherlands B team. They stole a CONCACAF spot. Danny, I'm not going to lie. That's like one of my 5 least favorite takes around the World Cup. That's just incredibly disingenuous when it comes to like, you know, I don't know. It just like Curaçao is a part of the Netherlands. It is an independent nation within the Netherlands, but it is probably not a surprise that there is a large overlap between Curaçao and the Netherlands. If you combined Curaçao on the island with the population of the entire Curaçaoan, hold on. If the entire Curaçaoan diaspora in the Netherlands, it would still be the smallest country to ever make the World Cup. Like, I respect the fact that Curaçao went, we have a national team now. We want to get good as quickly as possible. Where are the best players that can represent Curaçao? And of course, they're all in the Netherlands. Because that's where people of Curaçao, that's the only avenue where people of Curaçao and descent are able to train at all. You don't really play in Curaçao outside of like, you know, very semi-professional sort of stuff. So you know, that's where you're going to be able to, even guys that are born in Curaçao, that's where they're going to be able to go and train. And CISO is starting, dude. It's a very big surprise. And CISO is starting. I just thought Enciso was going to be out the whole time, but he's not. So I have no idea. Is Gio bench? Please tell me he is. Well, yeah, Gio's on the bench. Dude, Gio was never starting. I think we have the best starting lineup we've ever had with the U.S. This is the best team the U.S. can put on the field, too. We've avoided injury issues, which is awesome. That's, you know, something that bothers a lot of teams. Yeah. No, I mean, I think a lot of countries could do what Curaçao did and basically go, look, we have a significant diaspora in a country that does a really good job of developing soccer players or footballers, right? Let's use that and build a national team for us that, you know, the kids on the island or the kids in our country are going to be able to look up to. So Morocco did. Yeah, Trusty's on the bench. Everybody's on the bench. The fun thing about the World Cup is you don't have to choose somebody that's not on the bench. If you're on the World Cup roster, you are on the bench and available for every match. Indonesia tried it. Yeah, but the issue with Indonesia is you can only have an Indonesian passport, which means you have to convince these people to give up their other passport. It's a little harder to do. Suriname's as Dutch as Curaçao, and Suriname made the Intercontinental Playoff. Do I think the U.S. is better than Algeria right now, objectively speaking? Yes, I do. I don't think Algeria is bad either. I'd be surprised if they didn't make the knockouts. I think Algeria could be in for a big upset. But I think if you go player for player, I think the U.S. has it. Algeria's starting 11 is good, though. I think Algeria is better than Paraguay, but I think we still have it. Same with a lot of the Middle Eastern countries. You're talking about what I just said with Morocco. Not true for Jordan. If you just want something interesting, Jordan, 23 of the 26 Jordanian players were born in Jordan. Turkey, yeah, Turkey's an interesting one because Turkey does, yeah. Honestly, Turkey should lean into its diaspora even more. Do I have Morocco beating Brazil tomorrow? What are the games tomorrow? Morocco. Well, it's Qatar, Switzerland, Morocco, Brazil. Haiti, Scotland. Oh, Haiti, Scotland. What a game for the streets, dude. I think there's two things that are true. Everybody loves Scots and everybody loves Haitians. That is two groups of people that everybody loves, no matter where they are. I wish this was a World Cup where more fans could be in attendance with prices and visas and everything. But oh, Haiti, Scotland, dog. We will be there. If Haiti take anything from that, dude, you want to know the interesting thing? I think Haiti absolutely could. Underestimate Haiti at your own peril, dog. Underestimate Haiti at your own peril because this Haitian team finished ahead of Costa Rica. They knocked Costa Rica out of World Cup qualifying. They knocked Honduras out of World Cup qualifying. They've added talent since then because like Wilson Isidore has decided to commit to play with the national team, right? So they just got like a Premier League striker on the team. Scotland's the favorite. I'm just saying, I think Haiti is going to scare the hell out of Scotland in that game. I think Haiti could get like 5-pieced against Brazil, but I mean, the Haitian team is not going to be scared of these games. A lot of them play in Europe. But I think Haiti also, the world is finally going to be introduced to Haiti's iconic goalkeeper who is like only known in CONCACAF before this tournament, Johnny Placide. Johnny Placide is a CONCACAF legend. A CONCACAF legend. He's just, all you got to do is look at him and you're like, oh, that's my. So, one, he's been Haiti's goalkeeper for like ever. He's been Haiti's goalkeeper since 2011. Basically, every Haitian match I've watched at the Gold Cup and qualifying and whatever. He's built like a Mack truck. Like, that's Johnny Placide. He's a good goalkeeper. He's played like in the French leagues. He was in Oldham Athletic for a year, apparently. But most of his career, he's just been like a French League 1, League 2 goalkeeper. He's the Haitian Ochoa, exactly. He's the Haitian Ochoa. He just looks like a dude in a Sunday league, though. And a lot of people that are watching it and like uneducated are totally going to think he's like a Sunday league player. He's a CONCACAF legend. I love Johnny Placide. I love Johnny Placide. He's a good goalkeeper too. He's been one of the best players on Haiti's team for a while. Yeah, let me tell you something. You are not overpowering Johnny Placide. You are not winning a battle in the air. Yeah, but normally for a team like Haiti, people would look at that team and be like, oh, goalkeeper's probably going to be a big concern. Right, because it's not a nation that's able to develop a lot of that talent domestically, so you kind of randomly need a goalkeeper to just be good. And Johnny Placide's had this like 15-year career in the French pro leagues and just been, yeah, he was one of the guys that when Haiti made the World Cup, I was like, I am incredibly happy for Johnny Placide because he's going to get his moment. Yeah, they have Jean Rickner Bellegarde. I like Jean Rickner Bellegarde. He's skillful. No, he's built like a brick, dude. He's a very, you don't see a lot of square-shaped goalkeepers, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, you'll see it at the World Cup. Johnny Placide's a good goalkeeper. Very sound, makes all the saves you'd want him to make. He is Akinfenwa-esque in goal, that's for sure. Are Haiti a pretty physical team? No, actually. Haitians are not Their forwards are. I shouldn't have said that. Their forwards are. Let me just go Haiti national team. Their two strikers are absolute beefcakes. Not Isidore. Francie Perrault, beefcake. And where is he? Duckins Nazon, beefcake. These dudes are significantly sized. Francie Perrault is 6'4". He's almost 2 meters tall. They're beefy. Their forwards are beefy, but people always assume Haitians are bigger than they are. Yeah. An issue for Haiti is defense. What's my first big upset? No. 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 I'm gonna take Japan, Netherlands. I'll say Japan if we're gonna count that as an upset. If we get the Saudi Arabia that beat Argentina at the last World Cup, they're totally beating Uruguay. If we get that Saudi Arabia, they're totally winning. Is that really an upset? No. First big upset? I mean, some World Cups go by without like a massive upset. Like, I'll tell you what, I think Morocco's going to draw Brazil. I don't know what in previous predictions, what I've picked, but I think Morocco draw Brazil. I'll go there. Does that count? I think they draw Brazil. I think it could be a boring 0-0, honestly, the more you think about it. I could see like Brazil struggles to attack, obviously. And Morocco clearly knows how to haram. We saw that all over AFCON, right? So I think you could end up with a 0-0 there, no problem. Now, my biggest upset pick is that I think Colombia could get grouped, at least that they're going to finish third, that either Uzbekistan or DR Congo is going to be able to finish above them. We will see. We'll see how correct that estimation is. All right, chat. So, my goal is to stream a live watch along of the match from a watch party in New York. In order to do that, I'm going to have to go soon. Right, but what we're going to do is we're going to do one more ad read for Forza. Then we're going to make my final predictions for the match, and then I'm going to go get that set up. How's that sound? W? Okay. Because Forza has been very generous in doing this to allow us to be able to do all of the stuff we want to do as part of the coverage of the World Cup, and we appreciate Forza for that, don't we? We appreciate Forza. England knocks out Portugal. Revenge against Ronaldo. Nice. Okay, Chad, are you ready to hear about some Forza Horizon 6? Yeah! Why is everybody so hyped for Portugal? Because they got the best midfield in the world. So we were oogling at pictures from Forza earlier about how ridiculously good this game looks. It is awesome. But it also has a giant open world in Japan. Incredibly cool. Lots of different biomes. Lots of different interaction things. Interaction things. Lots of different things you can interact with in the game. There's cars that you can pick up. You know, if you're thinking about old Forza Horizon games, right? You're just going to be getting your cars from like the traditional sources. You're going to be able to buy them, but you can find cool, unique cars, maybe like Shibuya, that one. right, in various places around the Forza map. It is also the biggest open world that Forza's ever had. Sick cars, beautiful graphics, a massive open world map. You can have car meetups with your friends over the course of the whole thing. It is awesome. It needs to be bigger. I'm sure they're working on it. But it's already the biggest map that they've ever had. Zipping all over Japan in some super cool cars, racing your buddies, racing everybody else. Showing off your cool cars that you happen to find because you ran into somebody in this giant open world. It's a very cool game. I know a lot of you guys already said that you've played it, that you've checked it out, so enjoy it. If you haven't already enjoyed it, consider enjoying it. And we appreciate Forza Horizon 6 for sponsoring the stream. We appreciate them greatly. Genuinely game of the year for me, somebody said on YouTube. Nice. Is it on Game Pass? Dude, I actually don't know. I should, obviously. I actually don't. Bigger map than FM26, 100%. Also, yes, it is on Game Pass, according to very reliable sources in the chat. All right. Big thank you to Forza Horizon 6. Chat, it is time to pick this game. It is time for my final prediction for the United States against Paraguay at the World Cup. It's here. The home World Cup is here. The United States is playing a World Cup match. It is so rare. It is so awesome. My emotions will be at fever pitch the entire time. I will be sweating super hard. I think this U.S. lineup is fantastic. And chat, I'm going to give you 3-1 United States. That is my final prediction. Why 3-1? This U.S. team is very fluid offensively, very good and fluid offensively. We saw that against Senegal. We saw that against Germany. It's able to create really well. I think where this team does struggle is it switches off defensively. I think we are going to get caught at a counter at some point in this match and concede a goal. I hope it's when we're already up a couple. Because just the way that we play, I think we're going to get a little lost. But this U.S. team going forward in possession has been, huge shout out to Mauricio Pochettino. Very fluid, very sharp, very dangerous. Balogun and Pulisic are obviously super dangerous. You combine that with Malik Tillman, who has got an absolute howitzer strapped to his boot. Weston McKennie on set pieces. Dest and Anthony Robinson are both goal threats coming off the wingback positions. I'm taking the United States 3-1. I had a ton of respect for Paraguay. Zealandism obviously gave them a lot of respect in the preview. I'm not saying Paraguay's not a good team. I just think with that home World Cup, with that energy, obviously I'm rooting for the U.S. Obviously I'm a bit of a homer, but I believe in this team. I believe this team can get the job done. I just, I think this is the best lineup that we can put together. And if these guys play as well as they can play, then I think that we're going to get it. Who are my goal scorers? I'm going to take Balogun first goal. I'm going to take Weston McKennie second goal, probably a header. And I'm going to take Christian Pulisic cleaning it up late with a third goal. I think we might concede a set piece or something. I just feel like we're going to be switched off. It's going to be a random goal scorer for Paraguay. Yeah. Yeah. Who's the star player? I mean, it's Christian Pulisic. He puts on the stars and stripes, and he's a demon. He's the best player we have, and even though he's this quiet, shy guy, we need him to be a monster on the field. Their best player is probably Omar Alderete, but their best player going forward is going to be Julio Enciso. The big question is Julio Enciso fit for this tournament? He was suffering from a pretty wild-looking injury that he has somehow miraculously recovered from. I don't know how fit he is. They need him to be fit. Yeah. When do I think I'll go live again? Give me like 40 minutes, chat. I'm going to be scrambling to get over there. Give me like 40 minutes, but I got to wrap the stream now. Thank you for joining me for the World Cup preview show. I wish I could keep it going up until we actually head out there, but I can't. We're going to try and get all this set up and then be able to stream from out there. Hopefully it works. I don't know. We're still kind of field testing a lot of this equipment. I will let you guys know and keep you updated. Keep your eyes on the schedule updates in the Discord. Much love to you, YouTube. Much love to you on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you soon. The United States kicks off its World Cup soon. Slap yourself in the face and stay awake if you're in a place where it's the middle of the night. We got a World Cup host nation kicking it off, and maybe the only time in my life I get to watch the U.S. At home in a World Cup. And so I just got to go and drink it in. I'll see you guys soon. Much love. Bye, guys.